spaced. Oh my God, I spaced. I'm fucking spacing over here.
Yay.
What the hell? My life's falling apart. I don't even think that was worth it. That wasn't interesting. That's not gonna blow anyone's mind. They're just gonna say, yeah, you were hanging from the ceiling, you dipshit. Welcome to New Year, New Me. This is New Me. I'm feeling optimistic.
New You looks a lot like a fucking Nazi, by the way. I didn't even know it was an option. Okay, you've been bald before. That's fine. I didn't know you were allowed to just have the Michael Jordan Hitler mustache. I didn't know that you could still do the eagle, honestly, is now starting to look sus. I used to think that IDUBBBZ went into the tattoo place and pointed at the wall and they were like, what do you want? And he just said, yes. Anything. Can I see your book? And then he just stuck it to himself and said, go. So, but now the Eagle's looking a little suspicious here. There's something bizarre going on. I feel like there's a counter signal in the air or some kind.
For me, for the new year, I'm not feeling optimistic for other people. And
what does that mean? Why does he have a thing pointing out that he has he's brown now? He's a brown guy, is what he's claiming, and his table is a pickle. This video is called Pickle, Pickle, Pickle Goose, which of course got my attention. Now, here's the thing with IDUBBBZ. IDUBBBZ, I don't think he should be legally allowed to be called IDUBBBZ no more, right? Because do people even know this? He married a lady named Anissa Jomha, and then he took her last name. So he's Mr. Jomha. Isn't IDUBBBZ, isn't that short for like whatever, Ian something? His last name started with a W, so he's IDUBBBZ. No. You're IDUBBBZ now, okay? And whatever you've been going through, the horrifying transformation, new year, new you. Well, new year, new Podawful. I'm paying attention. I've been watching IDUBBBZ for a little bit here. And I have to, spoiler warning here. I'm an old man. So I did not grow up going IDUBBBZ rules, because when he said the N-word, I wasn't 13. I was 31 maybe. I don't even know how old I was, but I was probably old enough that I'd said it enough times myself to, save us all the trouble. And IDUBBBZ has been going on sort of an eternal apology tour ever since he married Mrs. Jomha, the master of the household, Mrs. Jomha. This video, I just noticed this, started out with IDUBBBZ putting little IDUBBBZs all over the boxes. I guess this is an unboxing, which is something he does. And he's like opening up his legs and showing his holes to the camera during all of this. I didn't even notice that before. My belief on the IDUBBBZ phenomenon, everything that's happened. I don't know when he married Anissa. I want to say it was like 2020 or something like that when they were really officially together. 5 years now. For 5 years, this guy has been on one of the longest running humiliation rituals that has ever been exposed. I have a very strong belief behind what is going on. Why the comment section on an IDUBBBZ video, it's everybody just going, I cannot believe how hard you fell off. I personally think he's right where he started, to be honest with you. But I think I do know what's going on behind the scenes here. And the problem is, and the reason so many of the former 13-year-olds out there, watch out, Cog, they're no longer good for you. The reason so many of these former 13-year-olds out there think that iDubbbz has fallen off is because he is not the host of the iDubbbz program anymore. He's the face of it. He's a puppet. And of course, right up his ass as he spreads his legs for the camera to induce humiliation for one more minute, to bring blood to the blood god, deep, deep up his butthole, the forearm of Master Jomha puppeteers him. You're watching a Jomha production, and you're watching Podawful. Dude, this is the craziest episode we've ever done!
Oh,
Okay, goodbye, new people. See ya. Oh, you were giving this show a shot? Peace. Anyway, this is Podawful. I'm your host, Jesse P.S. Happy to be here. You can add me on Twitter at Podawful. You can join our Discord, podawful.com/cult. It's our cult. We have a Podawful cult. And we're live over at podawful.tv, where we've got Ninja Genie, they say in chat room. We got a live chat room. People are saying, whoa, I'm going to goo. Whoa, buddy. Best episode ever, folks. I don't even know why they're saying stuff like that. This is getting deep. She's deep. She's deep, deep, deep in his hole. Okay. Who would ever let their beater get that low unless he's trying to show off the eagle and the stash? Is a great point. That's actually a terrific point there from the chat. It was InfoWar said that. Yeah, I do believe that I think he's trying for something with the stash and the eagle and the wife beater too. By the way, wife beater, the clues. Okay, you're being pre-programmed. These are the clues. There's always clues left in everything. This is a clue. The pickle and the weird skin tone thing he's doing here, completely unexplained. I have no idea what I'm supposed to get out of that. Of course, everybody believes that IDUBBBZ copied his wife in getting tattoos. You know, she's one of these horrifying BPD nightmare women covered in, fresh ink. But that's the thing, is it's fresh ink with her. You know, I was looking into this before the show. I was shocked to find that when they got together, neither one of them had a tattoo. You kind of forget about that. You kind of misremember it as like, oh, he's just following in her footsteps, which is never good for a guy. But she was completely normal looking at one point, believe it or not. It's a horrifying place to be, but she was actually, it appeared to be a normal human female being. And then what happened was, it turns out IDUBBBZ was gay the whole time. Okay. Now, I know most people are not going to agree with this statement, but I'm going to prove it here on the show tonight. Well, you know what? We should come back to this one a little. Well,
he did hang out with Sam Hyde, so.
Are you saying Sam Hyde is a gay guy?
He's a fucking nerd.
Okay, well, listen. All I know is my best friend is Ryan Katsu Rivera, and I've got nothing bad to say. So, did you guys see Ryan Katsu Rivera was on the Sam Hyde podcast?
Wait, really?
Yeah,
oh shit!
I saw this right before the show. Yeah, they just put out a clip from it He was, their third mic guest on the show. Ryan is now going to go work for. He's leaving Gavin McInnes, one of the goons of Podawful, by the way. He's leaving Gavin and he's going to go work for Sam Hyde, which means Ryan might be Mr. Jomha's biggest nightmare ever. It's like I'm sure we're about to see some clips of the Proud Boys in this video right here. He put out a video a couple weeks ago. I don't normally even pay attention to this kind of stuff. And this one even got me where, I started having some thoughts, some feelings about it. I'd like to share those with you now. Let's take a look.
We've never, ever seen a generation or a group of people so angry, so miserable, so medicated.
My body, my choice.
The feel when we control your bodies.
Okay, so we've got Steven Crowder. We've got Nick Fuente. All these people we talk about.
The messaging from the left is still so...
We've got a skeleton. So that's
part of the show.
Now the creepy music starts to make sense,
anti-male.
We will keep you down forever.
The women with the least likelihood of getting pregnant are the ones most worried about having abortions.
If you are an American woman, you have every
wait. Hang on a second. This is a good person, right?
right to choose in the world.
I mean, I hate to break it to you ladies, but
never mind.
You might not have had a choice in the matter.
Nobody wants to impregnate you if you look like a thong.
I think it would be awesome for the looming fertility crisis if everyone here had 7 children. People say no less than 7. I think 7's a good start. I think 7's good. Or whatever number, 4, 5, 6.
Charlie Kirk, by the way, has a human being ever looked more strange? And I know this is coming from me, but Charlie Kirk has a face like a boulder. It looks like they didn't get finished carving whatever they were going for with Charlie Kirk. And when he smiles, oh my God. You know what? When the left, I don't know if you guys know this. I just became aware of this. Apparently, there's a new president in town and we're entering a golden age. Okay? We're entering some sort of golden age now. And everything's changing. Mexicans have to live in Mexico now, something like that. I don't exactly understand all the politics and stuff behind it. Everything is going topsy-turvy. It used to be that a guy like IDUBBBZ, he was sitting around going, this rules, everything is good. And now he's becoming a skinhead because Trump is the president. Okay? And then I was watching this thing earlier. Did anybody see this? Has anybody seen that Trump is now the president? They did a whole thing where he, gave a speech and everybody pretended that they were cool with it. And then
Really?
the old guy was just like falling asleep behind. Like, I swear to God, I watched 30 minutes of Trump just say, hey, you know who fucking sucks? This guy right here. And he was sitting right there. He just berated an old man in front of an audience of, by the way, standing ovations for they were like, yes, fuck that guy 20 feet in front of us. Clinton was there. Both of them. Bush. Okay. Big Mike, I think, might have even attended something. Obama was in the audience, having gay thoughts about stuff. There was there was a lady in the audience. Not to get political, but there was a lady in the audience. And that's political to IDUBBBZ, by the way. Take a look at this guy.
Ever use these on your butthole?
All right, that's all I needed to show you. This is a guy who thinks that there can't be a lady, There's like 50 other things. I'm not joking. In this thing I watched today, I don't know what you call it. The new president ceremony, the new president said that officially speaking, there are now only 2 genders, which I could have sworn was the truth before. I didn't even know we needed to decree this. He was like, the White House now operates under an official 2-gender solution. Which, all right, well, then go figure it out with Israel and Palestine then. So, and speaking of Israel, there's a lady in the audience, right? Not in the audience, in the dais behind Trump. And I think her name is like Miriam Edelbaum or something like that. Don't infer anything from it. But I believe, I don't know if she's like the APAC. I don't know anything, man. But I think she's like in charge of Israel? I'm not sure what does anybody know who I'm talking about? She's like a little old, she looks like, Zelda Rubinstein, where she's about to do a curse and a blessing on your house. I'm about to wipe the spirits clean of your home. I don't know what her thing is. She looks like, like kind of like when Roseanne is trying to look fancy, but thinner. Like a shriveled old lady with big sunglasses. Does anybody know who the fuck I'm talking about right now? Clo Butcher, someone says in chat. What? Miriam Adelson. Okay, but who is she? What does she do? Is she like the president of Judea? What does she do exactly? I don't know. Did she have the red glasses on? I don't know, man. She was wearing big Miriam Adelson. Yes, probably. Who is she? Everybody knows her name. Nobody knows what she does. Roseanne is a rapper now. Don't even say something like that. You think I haven't seen the video? We're not discussing it. This is already too deep. Okay? I'm just trying to share with you a fun moment I noticed from a thing from today. Her husband owned casinos. She's I don't know if I'm allowed to say this word right now. She's a Zionist. Jesse puts hair gel on his bangs. We actually need to talk about. I'm glad you brought that up. We do need to talk about bangs. I don't know where you're getting the idea I have them. You see all this fucking forehead? But anyway, she's Trump's owner, head of AIPAC. Okay, so this is what I'm saying. She's in charge of the money. All right. She's in charge of money. And everybody, even Biden, even, what was the lady's name? The Indian lady? We should have voted for the Indian lady to keep out all the Indians, because I swear to God, this wasn't on their docket. They didn't say anything about bringing in a bunch of Indians with the Indian lady. We should have voted for her. She's sitting there. She's like as respectful as she can be. Not every time there's like a million standing ovations and everybody stands up and starts clapping, except for the presidents. They all just stay seated. And then there was one moment where Trump was like, and we're going to get the hostages back from the Middle East. And in my mind, I was like, the what? But everybody seemed really psyched by that. And even the old president got up for that one. He felt like he had to. Took him 20 minutes. I swear to God, by the time he stood all the way up, everybody else had been seated again. And then he had to be helped down. He had to be lowered on a contraption back into his seat. So I'm glad he wasn't doing the standing ovations. None of the other presidents ever stood up. I would think George W. Bush, by the way, he's there. He didn't stand up for the Middle East part. Like, it's a little... You do know what people say about you, right? They made a whole cartoon about how you're involved in everything. Have you seen the cartoon? So Jesus is there. He's like some sort of Egyptian Jesus man, and Bush did 9/11. So anyway, the point is, this Miriam Adelbaum, she's sitting there. She's the only one. The whole speech, she's just gossiping to the guy next to her. She's like, "Hey, I thought he was good, and I brought it." It was so rude. It was crazy to me how rude it was. And then there's one moment where they stood up to do the standing ovation. You could tell she didn't even know what they were standing for. She hadn't been listening the entire time. And she's standing up and she's still talking to the fucking guy next to her. She's like, "Yeah, so what do you think we're going to have for dinner tonight? Because this is I don't know if I want to stick around for this." And it started making me think that maybe she's actually at a higher echelon than presidents. Yes, she stood up for the ovation, but she's like talking through it. It seemed all by the book. And then I see Elon Musk is behind Trump. He's like sitting behind Trump's big, tall boy. He's got a big, tall boy. Did you? So this is my political takes, okay? So he's got a big, tall boy, and I saw him do a speech. I don't know at what point this was, but I saw Trump do a speech in the past day and a half or so where he's like, "Check him out." Is that a Trump impression? "Check him out." He's like, "My big boy, he's a little guy, but he's tall. He's tall. He's tall." And he slurps in his own nose. He's tall. And he keeps pointing out how tall Barron is. And he's like, "He's big, so we respect him, don't we, folks?" little more than all the rest of the sons that are in the family. The blonde one, the other guy. Okay. He's tall. He's a big, tall, little guy. He's a little, tiny, big guy. Anyway, so Elon Musk is standing behind him. And, he's like having you think Barron's autistic. Elon Musk is having this bizarre autistic meltdown behind where he's like at one point Trump mentioned Mars and Elon Musk is like, ah! He's like imagining 50 Indian dudes in front of him. Imagine that, sending an Indian guy to Mars. Fucking first thing, the first thing that happens on Mars, it's never been stepped foot on. And then they got a big pile of shit. So,
Podawful's political takes.
This is my political take. So anyway, the reason I bring up any of this at all, did you guys see what Elon Musk did? Because now we've got Mr. Jomha is joining the Third Reich. So he's starting some sort of Fourth Reich with his new mustache. And it looks like Elon Musk pledged allegiance to the Reich. I saw a clip. I don't know what happened, but Elon Musk straight up heiled Hitler. It was like a Joey Salads video. Why are we heiling Hitler out here? He did a full-on Roman salute. Hard. By the way, nobody's done it harder. It was like, you know how retarded people love Whoa. You know how retarded people love Hitler? I don't know how to explain it. Like a Down syndrome. Yeah. A Down syndrome guy, because they respect, power and a guy in a suit. Like Down syndrome people understand these things, sort of implicitly. It's like the hierarchical order of things. They know they love power. They love Donald Trump. I'm not saying Trump's Hitler, okay, but they do. It's pretty much Trump and Hitler are like their two and Hulk Hogan, and that's not a great one to compare either. But those three guys are like their top guys ever. And so Elon Musk, I don't want to do it because we're on YouTube, but okay. If you do it in reverse, does it count? Like if my hand starts in this area out here, am I allowed to bring it back? I swear to God, the way like some people will do the thing before they do the salute where they bring it to their chest first.
Yeah.
He did the retarded guy thing. He went, and then threw it out there. He was like, I love all you here. I love everybody here. And he threw out the fucking full Roman. It was nuts. So there's
this guy won. He was excited.
So I think Mr. Jomha is feeling it. We're in a new golden era. we're trying some new stuff out in the world now, I guess. Elon Musk went full Musk off. Which, by the way, if you're going to hire all the H-1Bs, can you get their Musk off as well? So, Ian Jomha, this man changed his last name as a grown fucking man. He went his whole life. Does anybody know what his last name was? Something with a W, obviously. IDUBBBZ. Right?
Nope.
Ian.
I don't know.
Ian Whistlefoot. I don't know what his name was. It doesn't. His last name could have been like Wieners Inside My Mouth. It's still gayer to change your last name to your wife's last name. It's psycho that he did that. And was she an OnlyFans girl? Because again, I don't really know anything about this guy.
I think she was a streamer on Twitch.
But was she? Did she start on like when he met her? Was she already opening hole for the net?
No, from what I know, no.
Okay.
Yeah, I think she started the Fansly account or whatever.
Now remember
the boxing shit.
Remember my whole thing with IDUBBBZ is that really. What made me aware of him even was this Anissa thing, because Dick Masterson, who we've been doing shows about, did a whole thing. He had his hot take on IDUBBBZ 5 years ago was that he was a cuck. And Dick Masterson's got a very bizarre, if like Down syndrome people could never put together whatever his hierarchy of power is. inside his head, they would never follow a guy like Dick Masterson, because his idea of what a cuck is and who's the master and something is very off. Like, for instance, he called Maddox a cuck for years, but currently the woman carrying his child has tasted Maddox's cum. Are we all on the same page on this one? So for me personally, that would be like if I found out that my wife had tasted triangle. You see what I'm saying? So, well, oh, you said, oh, I thought, okay, sorry. You were just having a moment to yourself. So
it's gross.
I would hate to find out that anybody I've ever covered on this show, my wife has been, naturally exposed with in any form. To me, that you would be the cuck in that scenario if that was your lady, right? And then he specifically picked her out because of that, which is even crazier. So then Dick Masterson, he's got a whole thing where he says this IDUBBBZ fella, new Hitler 2.0, sorry, Nick Fuentes, move aside, our new H Supreme, he's got a whole jag where he's like, he's a cuck because his girlfriend was an internet streetwalker. All right. Now, normally I'd fully agree with that. But where I got confused was Dick Masterson's girlfriend at the time, and also currently his wife, the woman who was carrying his child, was also an internet streamer, right? Who would show, she would open her flaps. She would expose her tots. You could see her gizmos, her grindle. Everything was on the table. She would dress. She's a school teacher. She's like, in real life, she's a school teacher. And what she would do is after hours, she would sneak into the school where she would teach her children. And she would dress up like Britney Spears schoolgirl style. And then she would open up her butthole and spit in it on camera for you to jack off to. That's the mother of his child. So I had a whole thing where I was like, well, then you're a simp, right? Like, doesn't that make you... Oh, it was a simp. It wasn't even a cuck. It was a simp. He said that IDUBBBZ was a simp. I was like, well, doesn't that make you a simp? And then what happened was Ethan Ralph muted me. So that one kind of went nowhere for a while, right? So now you got IDUBBBZ. And everybody says he's a cuck, he's a simp because of this Jomha girl. It's so much worse than that. Jubbs was always this guy, all right? Like, didn't he live in LA and stuff? He was hanging out with the H3 people. That's how I first heard about him. He was hanging out with H3 people and all this stuff. And everybody got confused because IDUBBBZ did something it's a very interesting move. It's actually fascinating. What he did was he turned himself into the inward guy. Okay. Now we got to talk more about that in a bit. Let's watch some of this video.
It doesn't work out well. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of IDUBBBZ Complains. Today, I'm going to be complaining about a little bit of a heavier topic than portion sizes at Cold Stone. This is a video about abortion. It's a very big topic, a very serious topic. I know. I'm going to treat it with all the respect that it deserves, all the sanctity that it deserves. Back in November, there was a trend.
All right. Now, so he's playing with his feet. There's like, which automatically, like, I need to go check Wikipedia and see if they've already posted that one on there. Is he one of their top guys for this month? The thing that really floored me, the thing that really started getting my brain juices cooking on this one is that what is the first thing you notice about this video when you watch it? Like, what draws your eye?
Where he's filming at. Why the fuck?
Yeah, it's
so bizarre.
What is going on? So he's in like some sort of dirty old basement. And the only thing you can really make heads or tails of in the background is he's got a punching bag or something. This is some sort of it literally says title boxing on it, which sounds fake. That sounds like if you were trying to come up last minute with the name for your boxing company. You're like, it's what's the title? So he's got this title boxing thing behind him. And maybe I'm retarded. In fact, certainly, I'm retarded. I forgot that he is like this boxing guy on the internet now, that he has somehow tricked his way into being Mr. Boxing. The same way as like...
But he lost both matches.
He lost both times. And by the way, of course he did. We all knew. There was no shocker in any of these moments. In the same way that, what's the guy's name? Jake Paul. Jake Paul is like Mr. Boxing now. I assume before he was a vlogist where he would just show you his day and then make up some fake crap for you to go, whoa, you drive a car? So he decided he's Mr. Boxing now. But you look at him and you go, okay, well, he's like kind of muscly. He looks dumb as a rock. He looks like his head's been hit quite a bit. And then also he beat Mike Tyson. So whatever you think about that match or the legitimacy of any of his bouts, you're like, all right, I guess he's a boxing guy. I mean, he's certainly more of a boxing guy than he is anything else. Your options, like if he were to appear on the news as an expert witness in something, the chyron at the bottom of the screen, there's only two options. They could either put professional boxing guy or like crypto scam man. And then what else is that? Logan Paul's brother. And he's like the older one, so you really don't want to be known as that. So he's a boxing guy. But then Ian Jomha is not, nobody in like the public consciousness is not that he's Mr. Boxing. I think that this is a move. I think this is somebody behind the scenes being very specific about what they want people to perceive Ian as. Okay? The entire boxing thing is that, and then specifically, he comes out with his, he's putting out a video every 4 months, 6 months, something like that. He's barely putting out anything. So this is a calculated move. You come back, you've got the boxing shit behind you. It's to signal something. The 889 angles. The clues are always there. All right.
And amongst Twitter incels.
But he's talking about abortion. And he's calling everyone else an incel. The guy who's gotten beat twice at his own event.
That it deserves. Back in November, there was a trend amongst Twitter incels to tweet out some version of "Your Body, My Choice," and for all of the self-hating,
which is it's not a trend amongst. It was Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes did that. By the way, Nick's body, my choice. So now what? Am I super incel? because I get to choose when Nick's body can be used and what I will use it for. So this is, now the name of this video, by the way, is Your Body, My Birth Vessel. And this is what these stone cold mutant freaks look at life as. They all refer to it this way. They think women are birth vessels. They say that as if you think it. But you ain't never thought that shit in your life. In your head, you're like, that's a lady. And the normal thing to do with a lady is put your goo in her and out squeezes a baby. And I hope to do that because, I don't know, every grandfather I ever had did it. And somehow we got this far. So it just seems like it'd be nice to keep it going. But in their fucking shaved creep bald minds, they're like, you're doing science experiments on women, on their reproductive organs. And meanwhile, these are also like the sex freaks of humanity. They're all doing sex freak shit constantly. Like they forgot, like it's completely, in their mind, it is completely a separate act. Scrumping and birthing are unrelated. And the topic of abortion is simply the elephant in the room for them on that one. It's uncomfortable. They don't want to talk about it because those are meant to be completely, it's a woman's choice. It's a woman's choice if she becomes pregnant. Didn't a guy say that one time, by the way? Some politician was like, I believe if she wants to get pregnant, she will. If she's raped in a Denny's men's room and she gets pregnant after, it's because she believed in angels. And then everybody got mad about that. But this is now their argument.
Women, it was my body, his choice. Of course, a lot of these accounts either went private or are suspended, which is quite the accomplishment.
Oh, except for the one guy who actually said it, Nick Fuente.
To do on Elon Musk's Twitter.
Trying to speak to a wide range of audiences here.
But for a lot of these accounts that remain active, with a couple of clicks onto their profile, it's pretty fucking obvious why they're tweeting out the things that they're tweeting out. They're just hateful people. We got a woman wearing a Confederate flag saying, my body, his choice. Now, how would this get worse? Oh, Nazi shit. My body, his choice, Nazi shit. And also...
What, are you finding it hard to jack off to this now?
So, selling courses on how to be more feminine.
Maybe she walked into the flag store and that was just what they had on the wall. That's something you should be able to understand, IDUBBBZ.
My body, his choice, Nazi shit. Your body, my choice, and...
Okay, the original. Finally, we get to the original. There's the Nick Fuentes one.
And Hitler! Okay. I think that'll do for sample size. I just wanted to show you guys that if you did...
By the way, as he's saying this, and they always reveal themselves in this way, as he's saying this, one of his disgusting Sailor Jerry fucking, if a cartoonist had to give a guy in a cartoon a tattoo, this is what he would use. One of his tattoos is a naked lady. I'm looking at big old jubblies and a fur suit down below. Okay, I'm seeing crotch, I'm seeing everything. And I mean, this isn't like respectable mermaid on the front of a pirate ship tits where you're like, okay, it's almost a tit. There's there's the suggestion of tit there. You can't quite tell if they actually went to the extra trouble when carving the wood of putting an areola on there. It's more that she's just fat, really. It's kind of a fat mermaid, and she, by happenstance, has tits as a result. It's not actually a sexual organ of any kind. No. He went full on D-cup. In fact, I believe this tattoo might be the only one that he actually had any input on at the fucking tattoo parlor.
Decide to look at any of these people's accounts, you're not going to find...
And that's his jack-off arm, too. So he's looking at that.
Find an educated person. You're not going to find a kind person. You're just going to find a nasty piece of shit. Now let's talk about a woman's value.
Zero. All right, video over. Thank you, everybody. Goodbye. That's it. See ya.
Later.
I hope everybody had a good time, but I think we wrapped that one up nicely.
Is this a cult if I ever heard one? Yes, it is. It's a cult. I mean, it's the cult of cult.
All right. By the way, you can join our Discord, podawful.com/Discord. If you want to call in, join the call-in channel. We'll drag you in here on air, and you can say whatever you want to say, okay? There's a lot of people in the chat room right now who are very upset about certain things. They feel like I'm saying things in a certain direction. Just because I'm not Elon Musk up on stage doing a full-on retard salute to a dead... By the way, Hitler is dead. Like, okay, the guy's been dead for at least 2 million years. I believe last time scientists did studies on this. Can we get over it? It's kind of gay at this point. Like, believe whatever you want to believe. I was about to say seriously to this idea, but believe whatever you want to believe. That's not the point. I'm just like, you really worshiping a corpse? It's fucking bizarre, man. Anyway, we're talking woman's value. Remember, everybody in IDUBBBZ's comment section is like, this sucks. There's like 3 guys. There's 3 guys in his comment section. One of them is, of course, like, oh, I'm so glad I grew up watching you and I've changed as a person. And it's so good to watch you change over the years. That's evolving. That's called evolving. Number 1, you didn't evolve as a person, okay?
He's no Pokemon.
You're not fucking Blastoising this shit. I doubt you can do Hydro Pump. I'm looking at fucking Jomha. This is like a Gyarados to Magikarp situation. It went backwards somehow. So I hate this idea. I hate when people refer to their opinions changing as evolution. No. You're just different now. You're not improved. You still suck. Even if your ideas and your thought processes and your opinions are good now, like they're objectively good, even if they are what I believe in, I don't think you evolved. I think you are maybe you're less retarded, but I bet you arrived to these new ideas in like one of the most retarded ways ever. You're basically, it's a rare candy style evolution where you didn't learn anything along the way. Your PP didn't go up. And I mean that in both ways. Okay.
Jesse, we got somebody call in.
All right. Let them call in then. You drag them in here. We're going to talk to a humorous username. Wants to add something. Humorous username. Go ahead.
Hello.
Hi.
I didn't know when I would be able to like fit it into the narrative of the episode.
Uh-huh.
But I was trying to think about the progression of Ian and kind of how he morphed and changed.
Okay.
And a lot of people say that a lot of people say that it's when kind of some of the Anissa stuff or the boxing showed up.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember kind of saying, I think I'm done with IDUBBBZ a lot earlier on when he started to do these squirrel videos where he was catching squirrels out in the wild.
What the?
And he was showing.
You're blowing every brain cell of my being right
the
now.
Save the Squirrel initiate.
What?
Yeah. Yep. So he, I don't remember when exactly. I think it was when he was starting to get sick of the bad unboxing where people were sending him like ladybugs and shit and, stuff in the. I think he started to get a little bit sick of that.
Hang on. Walk me through slow. Because again, I was never a fan. I'm aware of 3 things from IDUBBBZ's life. All right. I'm aware of he became an N-word man. I'm aware, I guess I am aware that he did something called Content Cop, but to me, that was like what I had already been doing for fucking 10 years at that point. It wasn't impressive. I've never seen any of them. I guess the N-word thing was one of those, wasn't it? So I've seen that.
It was like the last one, yeah.
I know about this video, and I know that he boxes with his brute wife, okay, who I believe has, orc-style lower jaw tusks that come up out of the bottom of her mouth. I'm going to have to fact-check that later on the show. I'm not 100% on that one. So you're going to really have to handhold me on this because every single word you're saying to me is wild. The idea that he had people sending him ladybugs, which we're going to have to, by the way, henchmen, pick it up. All right. We're going to have to start sending ladybugs to people. Coleslaw is sounding pretty tame right now. That you're saying this is the squirrel thing is the moment he changed, but if people are already sending you ladybugs in the mail, you're already a lol cow at that point, aren't you?
Well, I think at that time it was like, oh, look at how crazy and quirky his fan base is. They're sending him human shit and ladybugs.
Yeah, I mean,
but you can kind of tell in those videos, like at first he's like, oh, look at this crazy thing I got. But as like they progress and he starts to get more stuff like that, he's like, oh, thanks, more bugs. Thanks, everybody. This is really funny. And you can tell he's doing it as like a bit, as like a character, but he's starting to actually get sick of it. Like,
well, was this pre or post N-word?
During, I mean, the NF was his catchphrase
so
already.
He's in the middle of going, and all of these things are taking place. What does that even mean? Can you stop, by the way, kicking around metal trays on the? Are you inside an insane asylum or something? Fuck me.
Yeah, somebody's crushing cans in my background.
Sorry, figure that out. Somebody in the chat, by the way, said Jesse's never done a breakdown on Goons the way IDUBBBZ did Content Cop. I'm missing the comment now. I lost it, but They said something along those lines. You don't know. You haven't seen everything. You're new if you think that's true, because I've gone very in depth on these sorts of things before. Yeah, I can't find the comment now. I'd address it more clearly. Oh, Jesse never made fully produced breakdown of people like Content Cop. That is very, very untrue. It's just that our history is being erased, y'all. We're entering a new golden age. Okay. We're entering a new golden age for. If you do 2 at once, does it count? If I do this, am I allowed to do it?
All right, looks like you're just teaching me how to swim.
YMCA, which is now a racist song, by the way. Isn't that crazy? Gay people are now on your side, the racists in this audience. Anyway, speaking of gay people on your side, humorous username. So you were saying. So people are he's being sent ladybugs. He's eating squirrels. What happened?
He was capturing them. Well, it's weird because he was capturing them, but it was like, I think to like rehabilitate ones that were like broke their foot or something. I don't remember exactly now.
He was relocating them.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Okay,
I don't remember why he was doing that, but
he would make crazy contraptions and like funny little robots and stuff.
Okay, that's fun.
Do it.
So you do like a Rube Goldberg to try to murder a squirrel.
I remember it not being that interesting, which was why I was like, something's off here. I'm going to stop watching this guy. But I remember it just being like normal animal traps you get from the store. But
and you believe this is the moment. This is the moment that the dubs became jubs.
I think so, because I know people who are more obsessed with him were like, oh, this is when Anissa started to like write for him in the background.
So when did they get together? When did they first actually hook up?
I don't know off the top of my head. People said that one of the Content Cops was like co-written by her, like the one about Keemstar, I think.
Okay.
So I'm not exactly sure.
Spoilers. I'm thinking everything's co-written by Jomha.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of Jomha all over this man, and it's one of the more humiliating, embarrassing things I've ever watched take place over such a long period of time. Specifically, it's the amount of the distance we've gone with this is incredible. The grip this woman holds on this guy. Honestly, say what you want about her, but she must give the most slopped up pee you've ever received in your life. This guy, he's coming back for more. He's begging for seconds is all I'm saying, because we all know the hold that a lady can have over a guy, but I don't know exactly what it is. So this is why I need to know, though, the squirrel thing. It's why I need to know if this was before or after the N-word bit, because I believe that the true moment is literally, it's the dimensional merge of Ian Jomha, where in the second he said the N-word, it was a transmogrification. He became new in ways he had not previously seen. He had assumed powers that he had not had before, and at the same time, he was given a curse. And I think this is something that many, powerful men have had to go through. Anyway, thank you. Wait, is there anything else you have to add to that humorous username?
No, it was just that part came to my head, so that was it.
Thank you for the call. Thank you, humorous username.
No problem.
So, yeah, I don't know with that, but I do want to get into the N-word stuff in just a bit. But let's watch a little bit more of this video here.
What is a woman's value? I guess you can narrow it down to reproductive organs.
I like that when we start talking about a woman's value, he starts playing, like, I think haunted house music from Super Mario or something. I don't know if anybody can even hear that in the background there, but I think we're looking at Boo right now, and he's not looking at us.
It's like, okay, her value is giving birth.
That is what the secularist left would like, apparently, is you take away the thing that makes most women, i.e. getting married and having children. You take those things away from them, and then that will make them the happiest they have ever been. There's only one problem. There is no data to support that anywhere on Earth.
To take the part of you that is the most unique to your sex and then discard that or treat that as though that is a downside to who you are, it's antithetical to what womanhood is. It's very puzzling.
It's not even remotely puzzling. Let's just...
Okay. You see, here's the thing. Ian could have edited that out. What he had there is a moment that a man should not experience when talking about this subject. You should not be so emotionally invested in whatever the fuck this video is about. Which, again, I skipped around on this video. I don't think there's a man on earth who's made it 32 minutes all the way through this video. If you were able to see the retention metrics on this video, it would be it would sound a lot like the haunted house music from Super Mario 64. So I haven't watched this whole thing. I don't know exactly. Maybe he's not. Maybe he tells both sides. Maybe he's just somewhat empathetic with all these points. I doubt it. What I've seen certainly doesn't indicate that. What I believe happened here is he has been brainwashed into being female inside his mind. We are watching a man turn trans. And I want to be clear, somebody said this on Twitter. They beat me to the punch. They were like, I think this guy's transing in front of us. And anybody who's watched Podawful for long enough knows there's a goon to trans pipeline. If you goon out hard enough, you troon out in the end. All right. The obvious first example of this ever is Chris Chan. But we have personally watched and forced many goons to become trans in our own time. I believe Nick Rekieta is well on his way to this. Now.
That tattoo. Fuck, man.
Can somebody bring up the tattoo? I completely forgot about the tattoo. Can somebody get the tattoo? Because we had seen it before. Long, long ago, Nick Rekieta did a video where he pretended to be an e-girl by putting on short shorts and shaking his thing. He was basically Jomha. Okay, he Joma'd for the camera. He shook his gullies. He did the whole thing. And this is before anybody knew he was such a patented sex guy. He was so full of cum inside his head that it's all he could ever think about. He's basically Destiny. There's this guy,
all right,
Destiny.
it's in the side chat, Jesse.
Thank you very much. This guy, Destiny, Nick Rekieta are all consumed by sex. It's their entire thought process, their entire being. The people leaving comments on my tweet about boxy and shoe on it, it's like, I don't need to know what you would have sex with. Nobody does. It disgusts me. We're not bros. And if we were bros, I'm never high-fiving Destiny. He could be my best friend growing up in Cuba or wherever he's from. And if he came up to me and was like, you're not going to believe it, I banged Lauren Southern, and now I'm keeping, illegal compromat on her where I recorded her whole the entire time. There's no way I'm touching that guy. He's covered in a thin film at all times of sexual slime. Nick Rekieta is trooning out. We've seen him go along this process, allowing a disgusting freak like Aaron Imholt, allowing him to switch with you to become part of your gang. What's over there? Oh, it's Aaron's friend. That's like Nick Rekieta tweeted out the other day a poem. Okay, hang on a second. I gotta find this. Rekieta, was it Media? What is his name on Rekieta Law? It can't be Law. Legally, his name can't be Rekieta Law, right?
I think it is Law.
That's crazy. We need to have this man disbarred from Twitter. Oh my God. And of course, I type that in. The first thing I see is that tattoo. I didn't even need your help, Dirk. All right, so
Urquhart has a close-up shot if you want to look at that.
I'm looking at a close-up right now. We're going to look at a close-up in a second. Here's what happened.
Oof.
Steel Toe tweets out. Let's switch screens here while we're not talking to Ian. Steel Toe tweet, and remember, the topic here is IDUBBBZ is trooning, okay? Steel Toe tweets out, sometimes a grown man gets high on coke and locks you in his bathroom and makes you listen to a poem he wrote you, calling you a pugilist. Oh, another man of the sweet science, ladies and gentlemen. It's IDUBBBZ and Aaron. These are the These are the top boxers of your day. My dad had Smokin' Joe and probably a guy named Larry Curl Chops or something. I don't know. And then you've got fucking Aaron Imholt, his spider, and IDUBBBZ. All right. This is. Your father may have seen, Frazier versus Ali in person. He might have been there, seen the whole thing go down. And you may have seen, I don't know, fucking Dr. Disrespect fight a child. Okay, so apparently Nick wrote a poem for Aaron, forced him to listen to it at bathroom point, about him being a boxer and how his capacity for destruction is only outweighed by his compassion of instruction. And then he says, I see now it was hormones. He is pregnant. Everybody's starting to see it. This man is trooning. All right. Now, again, we're talking about Nick Rekieta here, not IDUBBBZ. So, by the way, compassion of instruction. What's Nick being instructed on by Aaron? There can only be like 2.5 things, possibly. There's the limitations on what Aaron could instruct anyone on. I think it's just like, where the button you have to press to get April to fucking smile is. Okay, so he tweets that out. Nick Rekieta quote tweets him and says, this is I don't even want to read this out loud because it's so gross. He says, roses are red, violets are blue. You lost your girl and tasted my goo. And he says, that's the poem. Now I'm reading that and I'm like, this is a burn on Aaron? Exactly how? So I replied, I said, I added to the poem. So roses are red, violets are blue. You lost your girl and tasted my goo. I added, this little act makes you gay too. E.E. Cummings. Now, I don't know. Like this. Okay, again, people, the whole thing with fetishes, and by the way, being anti-abortion is a fetish. People being into fetishes, the part they get off on is forcing them on you. So when you're reading Nick's tweet here, this is all part of the sexual humiliation ritual. I'm a killer gorilla. Where this is the part where he comes. When the number, he's got 467 likes on this. 57,000 people viewed it. I responded to it. That's when he goos. That's when his goo. He's talking about goo, by the way, so Podawful's gotten to him. But that's when the man goos. You're a part of this. When IDUBBBZ uploads these insane videos, sorry, I didn't realize it was already up there. When IDUBBBZ uploads these insane videos, you're now a part of it. You're in a throuple with these people. Let me see the Nick Rekieta thing here. Do we have video of this, actually? I hate to be a diva, but I would love to get the video on it because it's so horrifying. It's so unreal. People will think we photoshopped this. I know people are probably covering this everywhere, but Nick got some ink done, all right? He got some work done. Speaking of Mr. Jomha. And again, I don't know what the connection there is, what the absolute insanity. Well, actually, I do. I do know what causes this because it's happened to me. And I would bet it's happened to a lot of people in our audience. Just to be clear, I'm not talking about trooning out. That has never happened to me. It never will. Ian Jomha, you are trooning. If you don't troon, I will troon you. You're already on the track for trooning. Okay, we've done it before. We will do it again. All right, looks like we got a clip. Thank you, Dirk. All right.
Yeah.
Check this out. This is psycho. Let me blow this up here. All right.
Remember, he has a wolf tattoo for April on his back as well. People remember that.
He got tatted for the other bitch.
He has a wolf tattoo, and she has a wolf on her shoulder now.
I need to know, did he have tattoos before, I don't know, 2002? Did he have anything? Because I'm starting to believe these are starting to look fresh. This man is doing an IDUBBBZ speed run. Now, I believe I heard that Nick Rekieta and April Law, as she calls herself now, which is crazy. You will address me by my husband's attorneyness. I believe that they've broken up. I've heard that. I don't know if it's true. It might be some misinfo he's spreading out there. You know, it seemed like they were hot on the track of Nick leaving his wife and children for April, which I was, of course, 100% in favor for. That would have been amazing. But unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's happening. If it had happened, though, what is April's original last name? Anderson? Because I
think so, yeah.
I guarantee you right now, if we lived in the good universe, Nick Rekieta's name would be Nick Anderson. He is going for it. I don't know what this stream is he's on. I don't know if this is a guy he's like friends with, but you got to see this. Check this out.
Watching you.
It's just really low. It's down here.
Oh my God. Now, the second a guy lifts his shirt up to expose his navel to you, there's only one of two possibilities happening there. Number one, you're gay, or number two, you're proving that you're not a test tube baby. I would like Nick Fuentes to do this trick. Number one, he's already gay. It doesn't matter if he does it. Number two, I believe he was grown in a test tube like many of the mutant goons out there. But let's keep looking here. Again, if you have children, make sure they avert their gaze while we show you these gays.
It's just really low. It's down here.
And listen, when a woman puts a tattoo down there, that's an arrow. All right. I got so much to say. I had no idea how much I have to say about all this. That's a fucking arrow. It's not as bad as like, you know, a big fat white lady who gets Queen of Spades above her asshole with an arrow pointed down. And she's like, free use. Come on in, boys. The water's fine. I know you can't swim, but dive in head first. Let's see where this goes. When you get a tattoo that dips below, I don't care who you are. I don't care what the deal is, what the tattoo is. Here's how I know this is true. Is an arrow pointed at your fucking cock, your balls. It's gay. On a guy, it's gay. And I know this is true. There's probably some guys out there right now who are like, fuck. They're pulling their pants up as high as they can. They're like a 1930s grandpa. Just fucking pulling the belt as tight as possible. They're wearing a barrel.
I'm not.
Just wearing a barrel.
I'm just jacking off.
You're just jacking off. Okay, well, see you, Dirk. But anyway, that's an arrow. And I know it's true because nobody gets their kid tattooed there. You see what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people get a portrait of their child or their dead baby, their angel baby, their abortion babies. They'll get their abortion babies tattooed on their arm, maybe an upper back, like on your scapula. If you really want to show that you love your child, your fucking face, that's the only way to do it. Sorry, I don't buy it. Oh, you love me, Mom? You don't face love me, though? But if Mom fucking lower hip loved me, I would have a problem. I would need to be calling the cops on Mom. Dad, even worse. Every single thing that goes on down there, that's a privacy. That's a no-no area. Tattoos shouldn't be going down there, period. But listen, if a lady, she's young, she gets a kitty cat on her thigh next to it or something, that's one thing. But if the kitty cat's tail is so long that it goes up to her belly button so that you can see it above the pants, it's because she's telling you to follow the trail. Now, I got to be honest. I know what's down there. I never needed the help. The treasure map is unnecessary. Nick needs you to know this is a signal Everything is a clue. 889 angles. Look into it. Cucks have to signal each other the way gay guys used to have to signal each other in the 30s. You know, toe tapping inside of a bathroom, wearing a certain earring in a certain ear. What, by the way, turns out both ears are the gay ear. If you walk into the wrong bathroom at the wrong time, it doesn't matter which ear you got the earring in. Prepare. Pray that you want to have the baby. I hope the angels hear you, okay? Because you're about to get raped. So, what was I saying? Oh, so Nick, he needs to signal to people that he's a fucking cuck. He's a gay guy. In fact, we know another cuck. Hang on real quick. We know another cuck. I just tweeted, oh man, I just tweeted this out. I just tweeted this out right before the show because I just spotted this. Royce Lopez.
Oh,
all right. Royce Lopez, known human cuck. I had to tweet this out. I said, Royce once again signaling being a cuck in public. Now check this shit out. This is what they do. Did you know pineapples? An upside down pineapple is a signal to other guys that their wife is open for business. Royce is signaling these things all the time. He and his wife wear pineapples. They do all sorts of these crazy, creepy things. They're Disney adults. They're going to Disney on the gay days. This was a crazy one. He posted this. It's him and his wife. And look what they're underneath. It says the IDUBBBZ.com. Now, that already sounds like a place you go to find out if, you know, you want to be in the Navy or, sorry, no offense, Dirk, but that kind of sounds like something where, you know, it's bad news for your butthole if you go to the IDUBBBZ.com. But if you don't know, Bubba Army is the name of Bubba the Love Sponge's fan group. And if you don't know who Bubba the Love Sponge is, he's the guy who let Hulk Hogan fuck his wife on camera. And now Hulk Hogan got to be rich because he sued Gawker over this. Please, Hulk, leave me be. This is already out there. And again, Royce is a wrestling guy on top of everything. So don't think this isn't in his mind. When he thinks of Bubba the Love Sponge, he thinks of the cuckery that goes on with his hero. And remember, Royce also has Down syndrome. So Hulk Hogan is one of the top. It's Hitler, Trump, and Hulk Hogan. And Royce loves Donald Trump. He lies and says he votes for Donald Trump. He loves Hulk Hogan. He's a wrestling guy and into cucks. And he loves Elon Musk because he's on Twitter making money off of it. And who does Elon Musk love? This guy. All right. So these guys signal. This is what they do all day long. They signal. So the tattoo means something.
I got, oh shit, this way. See, I got a blue bonnet because I was born in Texas, right?
Yeah.
And then Lady Ragged.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Oh, shit. We all know that and what that means. And yeah, why wouldn't you get it pointing to your fucking cum gutter?
Arkansas. So these are apple blossoms.
That is.
Go ahead.
That is a like the Texas state flower.
Okay.
It's still gay. It could be any flower.
I know. Listen, Lenny, you want to pick your battles when you say certain things. See, I know that you live in Texas, so you're aware that the cornflower or whatever is their favorite guy. But the audience listening thinks now that you're just a gay guy, and that's why you know that.
Well, they're also right there, so.
They're also right there? What?
Yeah, I'm gay. Wow.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Sorry, the way you worded that sounded bizarre. So
I'm right there.
And I want to be clear about something. This is, you know, I tried to fight Mersh on the ripped by August thing. Everybody makes fun of me. They're like, you didn't lose any weight either, Jesse. You're just a big fat guy now. And I'll tell you why. I was working out. I actually did lose like 20 pounds. I was starting to build some muscle. And then I realized if I keep this up, I might develop what they call cum gutters. I'm not gay. So if you have a cum gutter on your body, sorry, I'm not doing another man's irrigation, if you understand what I'm
They're
saying.
the two state flowers. So
Yeah, well, you definitely need your state flowers on your. What did you? In case you forget where you're fucking from.
I got.
And by the way, it's a flower. That's automatically a woman's sort of thing. And his wife has similar tattoos, like upper arm. I don't know if anybody's talked about this yet, but she's got like flowers or something going up her arm. It's like her weird tattoo, which I knew 7 years ago when I first saw his wife for the first time, his cross-eyed wife. I saw that tattoo. I went, this lady does stuff. She gets around. This is not an exclusive. I don't care how many kids they've got. I don't care how Christian they claim they are. This lady has seen the inside of a boudoir. And you know, like when a lady's got like a secret tattoo, it's not even a secret. It's a huge tattoo. It's up her arm. But, you know, it's the kind where you put on normal human clothing and it goes away. And there's something... Also, when it's just one tattoo like that, it starts becoming very fishy. And she didn't get it young. You know, these are old people. The Ricadas are in their 40s. Like, she got that tattoo up her arm at 33 or something. It was way too... If she had done it young, that'd be a completely different story.
I got that done as well. But speaking of fucking hurting...
And the guy is blown away. If whoever this is interviewing him either hates him and is like dying laughing on the inside right now, or he just can't believe that he actually made friends with a guy this gay.
They're watching you.
It's just
they're watching you. Yeah.
It's really low. It's down here.
How did he know?
Oh shit, this way. See, I got a blue bonnet.
Oh, this is just repeating now. Absolutely terrifyingly insane, but you can see how it relates back to Ian. So these guys are all trooning. These guys are all becoming trans. Nick Rekieta is now trying. He's basically gunning for IDUBBBZ's spot at number 1.
Stop for a moment and think about why this is so fucking stupid. Why would you discard what makes you so incredible as a male? Your ability to bust. Your ability to bust is just so fantastic.
The rust belt or bust. Bust through their front door, bust you in the mouth. When she loved the bus. Remember that time when Kamala Harris loved the bus? They presented her with the bus from The Fugitive.
I mean, you create the seed of a life, Ben. Why would you discard that like it's a downside? It's not a downside. You should be busting left and right, Benjamin. Benjamin Shapiro, you are the bust king. Women do not want to be known as, I was gonna say the bust queens. I think a lot of women would prefer not to be known as baby maker, and she kind of does art on the...
No, you know what they're known as? Mom. It's not that deep.
I'm about to bust. Go.
Side. Baby maker, and she does baking. She makes a pretty...
Who went to the extra effort to pick the black lady with the black children in these stock? There's no way that was the first one that showed up.
Souffle. She's a baby maker, and she sells some clothes on Depop. They're not going to forget...
So again, there was that moment he had where he's trooning, and he had the... You remember that? That was like 15 minutes ago. He was like... Now, a normal guy would go, oh my God, I can't believe I even did that in my life. I might be developing cum gutters. I better go get my state flower tattooed. Let me just edit that out of my life. No one will ever know. Ian Jomha is not in charge of the editing of Ian Jomha's channel. Ian Jomha is not in charge of the content of Ian Jomha's channel. Ian Jomha is not in charge or responsible for the scripts, the topics, or any of the things that you witness anymore on his channel. That moment of him shuddering, of him going, go, of him busting over the thought of women being forced, that moment was not only left in, it was enhanced. They shook the entire camera. They made the sound louder. Who did it? Master Jomha. Anissa herself, the Wicked Witch. Okay? She is on a tear to humiliate this man, to subsume him into her identity, because women don't have identities outside of their boyfriends, outside of their husbands. They don't have thoughts. They don't have hobbies. They don't have opinions or ideas. They don't know who to vote for. And this is why I say IDUBBBZ did not evolve. He did not change. And neither did you. When you were 13 and enjoying him, you just didn't understand what was happening. IDUBBBZ is the same guy. In fact, I would say that IDUBBBZ infected Master Jomha just as much as she infected him with this mind virus, with where he's been left. And if you don't see that, if you're against this idea, it's because you're sitting there going, bring back my N-word guy. Guess what? Ian made a choice. One day, he decided to become an N-word guy, and he knew the Faustian bargain that he was diving into in that moment. He knew what it would take, and he knew what it would take from him in the end. Now, this is all pre-Jomha, as far as I'm aware. So, had a Jomha been around, this never would have been allowed to happen. I agree with everyone there. That is the type of influence that Jomha has had on Ian. However, when I say that IDUBBBZ was an N-word guy, you have to remember why he was an N-word guy. And every single thing he's doing now is the result of being an N-word guy. Every single move he's made, this video, every interview he's done, all the Twitch streams he's done, every single thing is an apology for becoming an N-word guy. Now, the delicious irony of all this is when everything you do is because you are an N-word guy, you are an N-word guy. He keeps making himself more and more the N-word guy. Everybody in the comment section who is like, we liked it back when you said the N-word. He has never risen above his N-word moment. If he had continued along the path that you think he was on at that time, he would have done bigger and funnier stuff, and we'd all forget about the N-word moment. But instead, he met a Jomha. Why did he do the N-word stunt? Everyone seems to forget that the entire point of it was that it was meant to be anti-racist. The entire point of it was to call out the girl Tana Mongeau for being racist because she had said the N-word. You see, Ian didn't know it in the moment, but his attempt to be an anti-N-word guy turned him into an N-word guy. It's kind of crazy. And imagine if you were a black guy out there, you were like, man, I really wish I could stop being such an N-word guy. And all you had to do was say it. All these guys, there'd just be white people on Earth now.
I mean, Mr. Burgers has tried this trick and it's not, it does not work.
Santa Cruz Joker too. So it's a terrifying, vicious cycle that he's on. But he was this guy in that moment. You learned the wrong lesson. You weren't supposed to laugh at the N-word. Did you know that? Did you have any idea? In that moment, you were supposed to be laughing at Tana Mongeau, but instead you were laughing at Ian Dubbs, and that terrified him. He was Mr. Lefty, Mr. Cuck, Mr. Simp, whatever you want to call him, in all of those moments. And you, the 13-year-old audience, dying laughing at the guy getting... By the way, it was funny. Don't get me wrong. It was funny. Like, salute. That video rules, actually. It's the only thing I've ever seen from him where I'm like, this is great. And again, for all the wrong reasons. That moment of horror on her face, the fact that it happened on YouTube at like the beginning of all of this censoring yourself, and it would never happen. It could never happen today. It would never happen. And of course, Master Jomha wouldn't allow it to happen now. He ran to Jomha because of you, because of your 13-year-old self. He didn't know that that's the part that you were going to love about it. He thought he was exposing a racist. Instead, he exposed his own audience. And he had no idea. He didn't know going in. So when he found Jomha, he was at his lowest. He was at a point of no return. I did a little digging before the show. I couldn't believe this when I saw it. I couldn't remember how to spell Jomha. So I typed in Anissa's name into Google and her Twitter came up. And I'm looking at her Twitter and it's crazy. It's fucking crazy because the top of the Twitter account here looks the way I would assume. There she is with her horrible generic tattoos, the stupid, whatever this fucking banner is. This is all well and good. Okay. Anissa Jomha. By the way, zero mention of IDUBBBZ in the account, I wonder if his had, can somebody look that up and see, does his say collared by Anissa Jomha, the rent boy of Master Jomha? She's got her website, AnissaJomha.com. How many people are going to that? None. Nobody. Ain't nobody showing up there. Then I scroll down and I see this. She's got a tweet. It's her pinned tweet. It's from 2020. Walking the dog as a whole crew. And look at this bright, beautiful young couple here. It's unbelievable. Not a tattoo to be seen. No bangs. Okay? Ian's looking like the content cop you remember. Wow. Look at that. It's even thinner, scarier looking Anthony Fantano and his beautiful girlfriend, Anissa. She's never spread her hole for anybody. Not with a smile like that. I looked at that and I was like, this is 2020. And it's really crazy because then when you scroll down, I have to be careful how far I scroll on this, by the way, or you may see fucking hole. So we got to be really careful. But when you scroll down just a little bit, then you get the modern day Anissa. And you can just see the pain, the horror on her face. It's all over. This woman is trapped inside of an uncurable condition. And the irony is, so is this man. They have equaled each other out in this regard. They provided the sickening final plot twist of each other's lives. That's why they've lasted this long, by the way. Usually these kinds of things don't on the internet. They are the missing puzzle piece to each other's mental illness. Now, every fucking dude out there, I'm sure, everybody in here with me now, everybody in chat, if you are the main the playable character of your life, some of you I'm not so sure about. But if you're a creative guy in any regard, you're not an NPC, you've got shit going on, or at the very least you try. At every echelon of this, by the way, it doesn't matter your station. Any dude who's out there grinding, trying to make something happen in his life, has met this woman and has been with this woman. I know I have, and it was very public. You want to talk about the arrow, the tattoo arrow to the fucking genitals? By the way, the one I dated had a koi fish right above. It looked when I was making monkey business, all right, the unspeakable acts that I cannot attest to here further. It looked like I was getting sucked off by a fish. It looked like I'd fallen into a Japanese pond and thought, well, I better make the most of it. I dipped my pecker in peanut butter and seed and tried to see what happened. It's an ancient Japanese technique, by the way, of making sushi. That's how they used to catch them back in the day. They didn't figure out fishing rods until the Americans came over to kill their Tojo. But I had one. Oh, boy, did I have one. You've all seen it. It's embarrassing. We all know, okay? And this is a moment in the guy's life. It's a trial. It's a test. It's a test. God, call it God, call it a cabal, call it whatever you will. Some sort of there's an invisible hand in life. I really do believe this. There's something that's a preternatural super force that tests men who are testing the world around them, who are trying something out. Like him or not, IDUBBBZ was one of these guys. He was making it somewhere. He was doing stuff. He was getting heat on him. And when he did the inward thing, it was a trial by fire. And every tribe on earth in the past has had trials. They've had these tests. A trial of manhood. In order to become a man at 15 in some sort of African tribe, you have to kill a woolly mammoth or what? Do they still have those in Africa? You know, or to even just be a part of the community, to not get excommunicated, basically, to be allowed into society. Tribes would have these tests where you had to complete them, and they were meant to test your will. They were meant to test. It's not really about the physical strength or the act of it. It's this like supernatural thing that every guy, every masculine person connects to in a way where we all inherently understand it. It's to show that you mean business. It's psychological. It's a test of your mental capacity and not anything else. And we lost that fucking 150 years ago, if not more. That doesn't exist by nature anymore. And the world, you know, nature abhors a vacuum. The world found a way. And so now there is, whatever it is, again, spirits, God, demons, Satan, something, you know, Nick Fuentes. I don't know. There's some guy sitting there on a cloud. He's got, you know, pointy ears and a forked tongue and a fishing rod, and he's messing with you as a guy. And he sends the BPD demon to you, and you will experience this. And to the young fellas out there watching this, if it hasn't happened to you yet, you either A, aren't doing anything and you need to fucking saddle up and ride, or B, you just haven't gotten there on your journey yet. If you're in your 20s, you still got a bit of time here. I'm warning you. I'm giving you every tool you need for this chapter of your life, and it should be a very short chapter. It should not be like IDUBBBZ. It should end within under a year for sure. The fact that he's been going this long proves all of my theories on this. You have to be a mental female in order to stay with this. It's an immovable object and an unstoppable force meeting in the middle. This type of thing. This is a psychological cycle that he's stuck in. This thing where he keeps shaving his head, by the way. And he made a big deal out of it. Women go through this trial too, okay? And again, I'm giving you the tools here. You won't escape it. You can't escape it. You have to go through this trial. And it might not be, exactly like mine. It might not be this exact, but has everybody here, all right, the guys that are in here with me now, I only got guys in here right now anyway. You've all experienced what I'm talking about here, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, Urquit obviously.
Yeah, Urquit.
Urquit ended his in maybe the craziest way possible. Dirk, I don't see. I kind of think Dirk hasn't experienced. I know Jared's old ass has experienced this maybe even 2 or 3 times. He didn't learn his lesson. I learned my lesson. Jared, I would believe, did not learn his lesson. But Dirk, I actually was thinking about you when I was thinking of all this shit. Because I don't think you have had this. Because you've barely even felt the grace of a woman's touch. I
have.
No, you've barely felt that. You couldn't describe to another human being the softness and the pleasure of a simple tactile response between, the male hand and the female body. Your idea of sexual pleasure in Congress is, essentially that of a child's. You're how old again? 30?
Yeah.
That's crazy. See, I don't think you had did you ever have the BPD crazy? It's on, it's off, it's psycho lady, like a girlfriend?
Yeah. That was like right out of high school.
Really? That's early.
Yeah.
That must be back when you were still trying. Did you have hair?
A little bit, but it was pretty much gone at that point.
You were,
because it was like 18 when I lost my hair.
By the way, everything I'm saying may not affect bald people. Okay. That might be over for you. Tell me about your lady, because everybody knows my story. What is your story?
Oh God.
And also look at this guy while you do it.
Oh man, I don't know. I don't really want to tell the story. I'll be honest.
You have to tell the story.
I'm embarrassed by it. I don't really like
to tell the story. We're gonna let in Deacon Blues tell the story. Deacon Blues, hi. If you have the story, let us know. But we're gonna let Dirk tell his story. Deacon Blues is joining us.
I haven't talked about this for fucking ever.
But,
All right.
Before I get to that, and I promise I will get to that, I wanted to point something out to you that you might have missed.
Go ahead.
That the big Tana Magoo N-word stunt that Ian did was Anissa's idea, and I have proof.
Shit. All right, hang on to that. I love it. Hang the fuck on to that. Because again, I told you, I don't know my timelines on any of this.
No, that's all right. That's all right. I only know it because I was one of those guys who, like, I was in college and IDUBBBZ was popular and it was just something to throw on.
You were 13 years old. I know. You're a genius. Yeah. You're a 13-year-old in college. It was crazy. All right. So, Dirk, tell your story.
Fuck. All right. This chick, she would hop from one of my friends to another friend is what she would do. Okay. So she was still in love with my best friend, and then she just went to me. And I kind of got obsessive.
So you were part of her carousel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got obsessive.
I got obsessive, yes. But
that's the test. So, by the way, do not feel bad about that. They get you. Listen, I've said it a million times to every girl I know. Gaslighting isn't real. Gaslighting isn't real. Gaslighting isn't real. But the truth is that it is real, but only when women do it to guys. And I've experienced it. Every man who's been through his BPD cycle has experienced this. So I think that's what you were going through. You became obsessed. That's what these women do. It's the manic pixie dream girl box. I'm boxy, you see? They fool you.
She did have that look. Yeah,
of course she did. They all do. I should have talked about this. I could have talked about this on the last episode.
That kind of looked like it too. If I kind of remember.
Of course, she was. So you had your
everybody. Emo. Yeah.
Everybody dates a boxy. Okay, at some point, and that's like the one that messes you up, and you get, and it can affect you for a while. How long were you fucked from that?
For a fucking while, dude.
Yeah,
it joined the military, man.
Let me. Jesus Christ! Wait, that's why you joined the Navy?
No, that wasn't the total reason. I mean, I got rejected by another girl who've already been with before, but she said no, and then I was like, okay, fuck.
Can I ask you? I was going to ask you this anyway. I was going to say, did you like rebound to like the most insane relationship ever after that?
No, we never dated.
No. What I'm saying after BPD girl, who you became obsessed with, was your next relationship after that some sort of equally nightmare horror show, but less serious?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
this is part of the cycle, and I had the same thing. Again, everybody knows
think about
story.
It. Yeah,
my story is well documented. Join the pizza fund, folks. But
oh fuck, she was the same kind of girl. Oh my god.
Because here's the thing. Your way, a man's way of learning this. Again, this is the test. You're in your loincloth. You're standing around with a spear, waiting for an elephant. Going. The elephant comes up and is like, "You want me to suck your fucking dick with my nose?" And you're like, "Dookie, dookie, 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 dookie," and you lift up your loincloth and you allow it. You go in, buddy. And it starts, and it is a powerful suck. And after that, and you're left fucked. You're left mentally fucked after that. your way of healing as a fella, you know, we all make fun of women for doing this. I think, by the way, I'm being very feminist here. I think IDUBBBZ would appreciate everything I'm saying, including all this stuff about his wife and him. Your way of healing from that, we make fun of women because every guy knows that like a woman breaks up with a guy, she's like, oh, I'm so devastated. And then 5 seconds later, she's back on the carousel. And meanwhile, the next 15 months of that guy's life are just ruined. and it's a permanent scar on him. Women just go, ookie dookie, I'm back. Back to being me again. Boy, all my friends picked me up and told me I was right. And meanwhile, you're like, I wish I had a fucking friend. That would rule. But a guy's way of healing from this particular moment, it's the only time this happens, is he just does the exact same thing again a second time, basically. But the second time he knows not to care about it. It's like, that's like your pick me. It's just your getting back on the saddle sort of moment. So you did have that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fuck yeah, I did. Damn, I did it at such a young age too.
What was the craziest? Like, to be honest, I had 2 of these girls, and I'm not even talking about my rebound one. Okay, when I was actually the same age as you. You're saying just out of high school?
Yeah, like 18. Yeah.
Same age as you. By the way, for an IDUBBBZ length of time, 6 years basically off and on. I was with this one girl. Now, she wasn't boxy, UC. She was actually, you know, she was decent in every way except that she was fucking psycho. And I don't think she was BPD. I think there was something else going on. And she had a horrific, insane jealousy. And she just assumed I was always cheating on her. And I wasn't. I never would have. Although I started to consider it. I mean, after 6 years of being told I am, you start going, seems like it's a free pass at this point. No, I'm just kidding. But I dated this girl, and honestly, one of the most psycho moments of my life, really. I dated basically every single woman I dated until my wife was basically an Anissa Jomha. Okay? They're like, I dated every version of this. The one who doesn't have tattoos, the one who's got them all. Everything in between. You know, I learned my lesson the hard way. I wanted to make sure I made it through the masculinity trials on this one. And now I have my big, fake, deep voice. Thank you, everybody. So I dated this girl out of high school. And she was in high school. I was not. And...
Uh-oh.
No, I'm just kidding. She was like, that is true, but she was 18. Anyway, so we both went to the same high school. It wasn't anything creepy. I should take everything I just said back and just say I was lying. Anyway, so we're dating. And one time she did something. This is actually much later, probably when we were like 20. We were basically the same age, or I think I was like a year older than her. She was like going nuts on something. I don't remember what it was now. Accusing me of cheating. She was like, where were you? I was like, driving here. What do you mean, where was I? You had just talked to me 2 seconds ago. You know where I was. And I had just had it, man. And every guy's had a million of these moments where you have just fucking had it. And everything a woman does is a shit test to you. And you know it. And in the back of your mind, you know, it's even worse nowadays because now they're recording you. The point of it is to trick you into going so nuclear mad that they have a recording to show everybody that you're abusive. Again, women do gaslight. That's real. But this is long before she would have been able to record any of this or anything. This is just a straight up psycho. She's just driven me to the point of no return. And I got so mad. We're sitting on her bed. Okay. This is how crazy I was driven. We're sitting on her bed. And I took my car keys. And I went, shut the fuck up. Ah! And I started stabbing her bed with my car keys, like leaving holes in the sheets and mattress. Now, I had never even reacted before this. There had been no physical anything. This is just that. It was the final fucking straw. It was that moment, and something needed to happen. I just needed her to understand. Like, there's a thing that women do where because you know you're not supposed to hit a lady, they forget that you could end them. Okay, look at this woman. No, I'm not in any way saying anything, any harm should ever come.
Yeah, you couldn't just snap her neck like nothing.
But it would be so easy. You know what I mean? Like, you could pick in your absolute worst moment on earth, the average man could pick up a woman, crumple her into a beach ball, and throw her into the atmosphere. And they just don't know it. And in my head, in this split second bad decision, I'm not saying this is the right thing. I just said, I need her to know that her life she's only able to even have it because of my whims. Okay? I just need her to understand that in this moment, if the wind blew another direction, ooh, things could change. Oh, I'm so angry. And so I stabbed the bed. The bed is fine, by the way. You can still sleep on the bed after there's just little holes in it. You know, it's barely anything. But the impact was there. It made the point for me. Now, that's me going nuts. That's the type of mental that I was put through in that moment. And of course, she took that and spun that into I'm the bad guy in this situation. I bought her new sheets. I didn't buy her a new mattress. You can just flip the fucking thing off. Anyway, so the point is, women will do every little shit test to you to put you into that mode. They want you in that mode because mentally, especially these BPD women, mentally, that's where they're sitting idle. That's them on the starting blocks. They want you cruising at their level where they're at 24/7, and they need you to feel it too. And that's kind of a sad thing. You know, I think back to those moments with her or any of these other women, these idiots, and I think, like, goddamn, their whole life is that moment. They couldn't tell a story like that. Like, Dirk, whatever your fucking worst moment is, they wouldn't be able to pick one because it's just a constant string of them. You couldn't, like, when their life flashes before their eyes, you know, before they head into those pearly gates, you know, which I assume is happening because finally some boyfriend did the right thing and the wind blew the right way. When that flashes before their eyes, it's just the same scene. It's wah, I'm being born, horror, fire, brimstone, death. At the end, your life is now over. Enjoy. That's almost every single woman, certainly BPD women. Deacon, you said you had a crazy one. You had a crazy story. I'd like to hear it.
Well, I dated one in high school on and off like you did. And I was friends with one more recently, not romantic, but friends, and it did not end well. So which do you want? Both?
I want whatever you think is the fucking craziest.
All right. The fucking craziest is the one I knew more recently.
Okay. And by the way, everybody, look at this while he says that.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's not far off. She had short hair like that, and tattoos. Friend of mine.
Of course.
Was not romantic because she was gay.
Yes.
Yeah. Fell on hard times, not doing well, lost her job to the pandemic, all that. And I could use
the pandemic, right, everybody?
Yeah.
A golden new era.
Anyway, my house is huge. I had an extra room. I was like, all right,
hell yeah.
I could use the income. Give me like a couple $100 a month and you can sleep in the other room while you get on your feet.
That's a move. You're doing a move, though, when you do that, right?
No, but it's just me being a good Christian.
Okay.
That's how I thought about it. Because genuinely, I'm not attracted to this person at all.
Okay.
If you saw her, you'd understand.
Well,
but she's not I didn't think she was a bad person. I guess I didn't know her that well, and we'll get to that.
Okay.
Anyway, a couple months go by. She gets, I get a few months rent from her military benefits. And then after that dries up, a couple months go by, and she's like, all right, I'm sorry, I'm going to pay you. I'm going to pay you. She's not paying rent.
Damn,
for like 3
military
months.
benefits, huh? She really is gay.
Yeah. Was it Dirk who was in the Navy? Same deal. But
I never gave you money.
You give me
exactly,
money, though. So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The Navy gave me money. Anyway,
Dirk just provided sexual
I was trying to
favors.
be understanding. I was trying to be patient, but I drew the line when not only was she not paying rent, but she started being disrespectful to me in my own home. And I'm like, look, this is my house. You either pay rent or at least have the decency to not be a cunt. I can say cunt, right?
You've now said it twice, so I hope so.
There you go.
I'm gonna check. I'm gonna check with standards and practices after this.
Anyway, I drew the line. The day I filed the paperwork to have her kicked out was she had not paid rent. She was being crazy over something, and I was like, you know what? Enough of this. I'm changing the internet password because I'm paying for the fucking internet.
Yes, hell, I love that. It's so stupid and petty and gay of you. I love it.
She called the police on me.
Wait, what? Over the password?
Yes, she called the police.
Damn.
And tried to get them to shoot me.
Damn, that rules.
Because I changed the internet password on her.
This sounds like my my rebound lady after my BPD lady. So it reminded me of that.
Yeah. Because I'm a God-fearing American. I own at least one firearm.
I'm a cabal-fearing American.
Fair enough.
Okay.
So when she called the police on me, she tried to tell the police that I was threatening to shoot her. And they showed up, and my stuff's locked away where it's supposed to be. I was like, well, that's the police basically concluded this is nonsense and not our problem.
Yeah,
and
fucking
left.
Wild Randy in chat says you got swatted over a password. I mean, that is what happened. That's crazy.
Yeah. So that same day, I went to the courthouse and filed the eviction notice. And thankfully, small mercies, she decided to just move out and didn't drag it out to like a 3-month eviction process.
Because you would have been stabbing her bed by that point.
But she did break the door frame to the room she was renting because she slammed the door like a manic person after the cops wouldn't shoot me.
All right, but all's well that ends well, right?
Yeah, it's gone now. I don't talk to her anymore.
Perfect.
No longer friends. That was the day that ended, and that's what I get for trying to do a nice thing with somebody.
No, all right, well, good. Well, we'll be right back.
Support the show. Join the Pizza Fund. Podawful.pizza.
Pizza.
Podawful.pizza.
All right, so Podawful.pizza, join the Pizza Fund, support the show, get access to our band content and our primo content, which is at a World War. We had a premium episode at the end of last week. It's the boxy one that we keep referring to, which was a great episode. I actually really enjoyed that one. Somebody in the chat said before we left there that they would love to see an episode or a show where Jesse gives the henchman legitimate relationship advice, which is crazy, like me giving relationship advice, but I would love to do that. I would actually love to do a show like that. The problem is, number one, ever banking on anyone calling into a show when people fear me is a very scary thing. And number two, the idea that the people who watch the show have relationships is, of course, also a problem. So I would love to do it. I don't know. Maybe we get people to say, hey, do it. I have something. I want to hear your advice. You know, I loved Loveline growing up. That was my favorite fucking show. So I would love to do that. I actually do think I have really, really, really good advice when it comes to these things. And despite, you know, everything, despite everything, I'm a married man with children. Maybe I do know what I'm talking about. I don't know. All right, so this is what I wanted to say before about the Jomha and about the Jomha initiative, I'm starting to call it. I forgot to turn on my lava lamp. My goo.
Oh no, your goo.
My Tanaman goo.
Goo is hard.
God damn, my goo is hard. Hang on, this is embarrassing. I gotta fix my goo here for a second.
Soften up that goo.
Yeah, we're gonna get that goo nice and gooey. We might do an after show. I don't know. I haven't decided. We might do an after show. Maybe we should do a call-in after show where I help everybody with their advice. Anyway, so this Jomha, I'm saying, you get into this trial, you get into this moment where you go through a BPD cycle. Women go through the same fucking thing. It's something that you, as a man, don't understand, don't see. I see it. I read the fucking matrix code of everything. I know how this shit works. Women are, like I said, they're constantly in this panic mode, in this horror distress mode of life. And the way that they signal it is through their hair. Okay? Now, we all understand this. It's easier than ever to figure this out because, you know, we call it the warning colors when women dye their hair blue and pink and shit. But it's way deeper than that, and it's been going on for way longer than that. There's something about a woman's hair. Is, you know, I don't know. They think it signals their femininity or some shit. I don't know what they think it is. Every single movie, every chick flick ever, when the woman has her moment of triumph or her moment of change, her, if you will, inward moment.
Yeah, I like that. That should be a saying.
When she has her moment of evolution, let's call it, every time in a movie, there's a million examples of this, she has an important haircut. I think that's what the TV tropes calls it. Important haircut. This is a thing. And the way they typically do this, the way they signal to you that they are in horrific distress is by going through something that I refer to as a bangs cycle. Now, where men and women differ, and maybe this is similar, you know, to the hair scenario. This is why IDUBBBZ is able to, you know, just, where's my thing there? Why he's able to just take a haircut and try to be a new guy every year, shave his head, is we don't have this thing. We have the need to solve problems. Women have the need to keep them going. They want that drama. They want everything. They want to be able to talk to people about this shit. And that's why they choose bangs for their bang cycle. It's a cycle for them because once you cut your hair into bangs, you are now in a potentially irrevocable position. And you might be trapped there forever as a woman. And I believe this is what has happened to Anissa. And again, I think IDUBBBZ helped cause this in her. I believe when a woman cuts her hair into bangs, then she hates it. She knows it's a crazy moment. She's literally psychologically breaking in this moment. It's do or die, fight or flight. Okay, this is a signal. It's a cry for help, throwing the flag out there, going, everybody, pay attention. I'm ugly now. Don't clip that out of context, please. And now they're stuck here. And now what they do is they cut them real short. The further distressed they are, the further up the forehead they go. Anybody watch Severance? Anybody watch that show Severance? The main bitch from that show, what's her name? Helly on that show is this lady. She's actually a UCB person named Britt Lower, I think her name is. And if you've seen her off of the show recently, you know, they've been doing a ton of promotion for this show. And so I keep seeing YouTube thumbnails with her in it. Her bangs are up here. Okay. They're at the very limit. It's basically a hairline at this point. It's like when a black person goes in and gets their fake hairline drawn in. That's where her bangs have gone. Something terrible is happening to this woman, and she needs you to know it. She's a decent enough looking lady. She could do better than this. Did she go in with clippers herself and do it? The answer is yes. They always do. Even the rich and famous, when they're in these horrific times, when they begin their bangs cycle, they're cutting their hair themselves. We know women like this. There's women in the cult who have entered these bang cycles. Eliana, I've talked to her about this. She's in a permanent bang cycle because what happens is they go, I hate myself, I hate myself, I hate myself, I hate myself. And the bangs start growing, I hate myself. And then they get to the awkward phase. Now, bangs are already hideous and awkward. Nobody likes them. So there's never been a man on earth who was like, you know what I fucking like? You know, hey, babe, you know how you would look better to me? What if your hair was like retarded in the front? What if you had a female mullet? Okay. So they gets to that awkward stage and they're at a point of no return. They need to make a decision. And it's either let it keep growing out and it's going to look a little silly for a bit, but it's only a little bit. And you've already looked silly for the past fucking 6 months of your dumbass life with the bangs. So just a guy in this scenario would go, I'm going to let it ride. I'm going to let it grow and then we'll be good. But guys don't have bangs cycle. So this isn't the way of things. This isn't the way nature or the cabal has intended things to go. So instead what they do is they panic and they go, I'm going to cut them short again. And now the cycle continues and the stress and the horror of their lives continue. And every single time they go to trim it back, their life is trimmed back a little bit more. And the outer shell, the mask, is trimmed back a little bit more. And this is something that we've known since the 1800s. Did you know the phrase lunatic fringe is not about the outskirts of political beliefs? That Teddy Roosevelt made it about that. Teddy Roosevelt's the first guy to say lunatic fringe in that way. Lunatic fringe, and by the way, the season of Podawful named Lunatic Fringe is also named for this. Lunatic fringe is in reference to women's bangs and how it makes them psychos. That's real. Look that shit up. Did you know British people, because they are baby brained, they have to be fucking difficult, they call bangs fringe? Did you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they also have to call things, you know, glurpy blurp and boing, oh, I'm eating bangers. It's a sausage. No, it's a banger. But I don't have time to say mashed potato. So every British person, they got to be fucking baby brain difficult with everything. They call it fringe. And back in the 1800s, we called bangs fringe. And the first suffragettes and feminists in the 1800s started going cuckoo. And what did they do to show it? Bang cycle. Bang cycle. Newspapers started reporting on this. They said the women are going crazy. They look like fucking shit. And you used to be able to say that in the news, but that was news in the 1800s. Women are ugly. Panic, gentlemen. Women didn't know how to read. It didn't matter if you put it in a newspaper. They weren't going to who would they complain to about it? Number one, it's not like anybody would listen. Number two, they couldn't read the newspaper. Number three, they wouldn't anyway. So then you could open up your local newspaper and you could find out that, like, you know, they would warn you back then, like, oh, you know, Gertrude down the block from you, this is the newspaper. Yeah, she had a hysterectomy, so fucking look out, because her humors are out of balance, you're going to want to do something. Maybe don't let her into your parlor room. If your wife is having tea and you're inviting over guests, go ahead and exclude Gertrude forever now. She's now excommunicated from the tribe. So they started reporting this lunatic fringe thing. They're like, I know you guys are not going to believe, this is the newspaper again saying this. You guys aren't going to believe this, but women have decided to be ugly on purpose. And they're cutting their hair this way. And we believe it's because they want to vote. And you should have learned the lesson. The gentleman back then, we should have figured it out. We should have never given them the vote, because then you end up with Anissa's. You end up with Mr. Jomha's. Okay? All because of the lunatic fringe, the bangs cycle. I have a deep, empathy for women in this way. As a long hair man who does not have bangs, again, guy in chat room who said that earlier. You can see me, right? Do you know what bangs are? So,
nope.
Probably not. He's probably calling them fringe. And then he's off to, enjoy his brown sauce. My
Yummy.
favorite flavor. Yum. Ooh, brown. So, this will go great on all of my brown food. The only things I eat. Beans. And I'll put beans on a potato. And the potato is also on top of French fries. Time to make it more brown. That's not true. We eat mushy peas. Yikes! Get the fuck away from me. So, as a long hair guy, I understand this, okay? Now, I've had long hair my whole life. Some people would say I'm like Samson from the Bible. It's where my power is stored. And I do believe that, actually, in some ways. Sometimes I even attempt to cut it. I need a haircut. I know everybody's thinking, yeah, no shit. But I need it a little shorter right now. And sometimes I go to try to cut it, and it won't even cut. It's like Superman. I don't know how the fucking dude shaves. So, as a long hair guy, I've had long hair my whole life. I don't know why. Just did. My parents just didn't cut my hair, and then I was like, I guess this is me. And now I'm stuck. I'm stuck in a long cycle, whatever that is. And by the way, the carpet matches the drapes. Okay. So I'm a bit of a long cycle, lady. So, but when I was in high school, I always had the long hair. My parents would cut it sometimes, force me to cut it, whatever. But it always just kind of grew back longer. There were the years where, I'm from the South, so having a mullet wasn't even that weird. It was sometimes a little more mullety. I get to high school, I'm like, you know what? I like it just long all over. I just want it that way. And then, I'm still young enough. I was actually a year younger than most people in my high school. And so I'm still young enough that my parents are kind of in control of this shit. My mom. And picture day comes around. And my mom goes, you can't have your hair in your face for picture day. I need these pictures to look good. And I need to see your smiling face. And so what she did was she cut the front of my hair only into stupid, silly bangs. And it was like this and this, okay? It was exactly the way you see it now, but no forehead. And I looked fucking Down syndrome. And I said to her, what do you mean you want the pictures to look nice? That's going to look horrible. I'm going to look retarded. And I was right. And then I was stuck in a bang cycle as a guy against my will. And every year, picture day would come around, and suddenly, now, obviously by senior year, I'm old enough that that's not happening anymore. But I was getting this trim against my will. It's a horrifying place. When I tell you, I empathize with Anissa Jomha more than IDUBBBZ could ever hope to do. I'm being serious here. She's in a place of permanent hurt. Okay? You don't keep this haircut going. Even the pixie cut, by the way, counts. A pixie cut is their attempt to make it work. This is 2 flags on the fucking playing field right now. You can forget about the tattoos. You don't need it at this point. I look at her, I go, she isn't recovering. And there's something about IDUBBBZ himself that allows this to keep continuing. I believe that IDUBBBZ has always been essentially spiritually female. I believe in trans people. All right. Sometimes, unlike President Trump, who has declared that nationally there are 2 genders permanently, I believe in, you know what I believe in? I'm part Native American. I believe in 2 spirits. I think every once in a while somebody gets done hoodooed by their own nature, and maybe they're intersex or something. I don't know. Their brain gets a little soupy and something happens. Okay. Now, most of them are probably just tap dancing in a bathroom wearing a dress. You understand? But IDUBBBZ is one of the Earth's raped. He's raped. He's mentally raped. He is physically raped. He's been raped. And he's female. He's female on the inside. And he's pruning out and he's trying to become female for good. And in this kind of spooky dooky spooky way, he's kind of got the same thing that a woman has, where they don't have a personality without their boyfriend. They don't have thoughts. They don't have opinions. They don't have ideas without their boyfriend or husband. Now you switch over to Master Jomha, and obviously the same thing. She's a lady just like any other lady. Doesn't matter how short her hair is. I know for a fact she's a lady. I've seen it all. All right. And by the way, the carpet matches the drapes. So I know for a fact that these 2 are kind of meeting in the middle in this weird way that doesn't typically happen in a relationship. These people rarely ever find each other. This type of guy barely exists. This is a true trans. This is the real deal when it comes to transing out. He's not faking it. He just doesn't know it yet. The problem is, and the strange thing is, Master Jomha does not want this. Master Jomha, even being a lefty, wants a guy. So she's been puppeteering him, trying to make him a muscle man pugilist and beating up guys. And she's putting the punching bag in the background so that you go, oh, right, this is a dude I'm looking at. And now there's 2 reasons behind that, and it has 2 effects as well. The number 1 reason is so that you think you're looking at a dude, so that she doesn't seem like a lesbian, because otherwise you would look at her and go, now she needs to not look like a lesbian because she's trying to sell her body to simps, to men, and that would be a turnoff to them. It's part of the marketing. Everything with this is marketing. Master Jomha, what is she the master of? IDUBBBZ's career. His life, yes, but his career mostly. This is not his channel. These are not his thoughts. This isn't his video. All the people you know what? Let's throw it on the big board real quick here. All the people getting mad at IDUBBBZ, the former fans and all this stuff. These people.
Big board looks great.
Thank
Colonel.
you so much. These people are not realizing this. They're not putting it through their head properly. We got it. There we go. Let me see some of the comments here. Just see the comment section is so wild on this one. I'm another girl who's been in your audience for years, and all the comments from others like me are so. By the way, this is a guy in a dress. Are so heartening. Keep it up, man. Or keep it up, Ian. Means a lot for your voice to be part of this now. So obviously, like, the only good comments are the top voted comments. This comment section is going to be so respectful. Someone says sarcastically. Someone says Ian may not be pregnant, but he did deliver. All right. Now, when I looked at this the first time, this was not doing well. This video's got 707,000 views. It had been out for like a week and a half when I first saw this. The dude's got 7 million subs. He only had, when I saw it, 400,000 views. I think people have come in and kind of built this back up, lifted him up. Some of these comments have probably been deleted and edited now. Yeah, see, it's all women saying thank you so much for speaking for us, which, hey, how come when the rest of us do it, you guys don't like it? I speak for women all the time. Nobody's thanking me for it. And of course, the real answer is it is a woman speaking for them. Jomha, Master Jomha, wrote the script. It was her idea for the video. Every single aspect of this was her vision. She puts the thing back there, so it seems like, hey, he's a regular guy. He ain't gay. Oh, could a gay guy do this? Punch. Tiny little punches. Tiny little... I lost at my own event. You wouldn't hit a gay guy in the fucking head a million times, would you? So she wants you to think this is a normal guy. This is what normal guys are supposed to be like. Anissa Jomha would never be anything without IDUBBBZ. Everybody knows that inherently. She knows that. I don't think she would even lie about that. You wouldn't know her name. Nobody would. When she started dating this guy, she knew it, and she knew she could change him. Now, again, I don't think he is different, but I do think he used to make content, and that's the stuff you guys used to like. She now makes content. This is a vessel. Your body, my content vessel, is what this bitch said to him. And he said, you got it, babe. Whatever you say, please just keep spreading your holes on the internet to empower yourself, to feel more powerful. Now, Deacon, you told me that you believe that Anissa, this is flooring me, that Anissa is behind the N-word video, the Tana Mongeau video. Is that true?
Yes, that is true. If you go over to show discussion, I posted screenshots from Anissa's Discord where she is telling her friends that IDUBBBZ feels bad for not giving her the credit she was due for coming up with that idea.
Holy shit. So I had no idea they'd even known each other that long. Hang on. What's this first video here, though, you posted?
That's when they were on a stream after their boxing event failed, and they were trying to beg for money to pay for the failed boxing event that they didn't raise any money on.
I'll play a little of that.
She basically tells everyone on the stream that Ian shits himself regularly.
Okay, that's what I thought this was. So my wife, right before the show, was like, did you know that he poops himself? And I was like, what? What do you mean? She was like, oh yeah, his wife like embarrassed him live on a stream and said that he poops himself. All right, let me play this. I'll just play the audio.
Well, I want to ask Rajor a question first.
Okay.
Rajor,
oh my God, he looks so rough. He's like, it's like he still is getting the snot beaten out of him currently.
Yeah, we should get Rajor in here.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you can.
Well, if you can. I just want to ask you if you've always been shitting your pants.
No.
Because since I've known you, you've always had, like, IBS. You've always been shitting yourself.
What? The humiliation ritual. Again, this is what they do. This is the gaslighting. It's the humiliation. They want to publicly force you into this. Why does she humiliate him? Why is this the ritual? Number one, it's his trial. He's in a trial loop. But also on top of that, the more she breaks down this poor man, who apparently, I guess he started shitting himself over IBS. I didn't even know internet blood sports could do that to a guy. So this woman wants to hollow this man out till there's nothing left. Anissa Jomha is piloting the Ian Jomha mech flesh suit. She's climbed inside. He shaved his head because she's in a bang cycle. She's cutting her hair. Okay, she keeps it short. Now he keeps it short. Why is he a bizarre Anthony Fantano Hitler? Now, I'm not 100% sure on that one. I haven't figured out all of the kinks and There may be some flaws in my theories. All right, now let me look at.
I got some more hair lore for you on that. Actually.
Give me.
When Anissa first married IDUBBBZ, just before they got together, around the same time as the Mangu video, she was publicly on Twitter, there's records of this, very heavily crushing on a guy named Chris Raygun, who is also an old content creator.
I'm familiar. Yeah.
Anyway, it just so happens, who could say why? After they got married, IDUBBBZ dyed his hair the same color as Chris Raygun's.
Okay, very strange. That's actually too gay for me to know. And now I wish you hadn't told me. Okay, so here's Anissa. This is a Discord leak.
The one you want is at the bottom of the page. There are some other ones there where she's talking about how he burps too much and his room is smelly.
Okay. So here she is. She says, and he was like, I feel really bad when people tell me how brilliant the Tana thing was. I always tell them it was your idea. I mean, that sounds fake when she says that, but I believe it. And then she says, she's quoting him, but I feel bad I didn't credit you in that. And then people respond to her, oh, fuck. And then somebody says, I think Ian is lame. That's her boyfriend, isn't it? And then she says, it's stupid. Ian doesn't even hate Tana. He just didn't want her to get away with shit behavior. This is proving everything I said. I didn't even know any of this. This is proving everything. We drove 8 hours. So she was there?
Yes, she was there.
Fuck! I've never heard anybody talk about this. How is this not the front page news when you discuss the Jomhas? How is this not the main thing?
Oh, it is on her Kiwi Farms thread.
Oh, the Kiwis are ahead of the curve here. We drove 8 hours, with Bunty. We drove 6 hours, snutch into I think she means snuck into Tana's thing. Waited for 2 hours in line. We were legit the last people to go. LOL, fuck Tana. She was so dumb, she never even knew it was Ian. Well, she didn't know who the fuck that was. That's why. LOL, Ian might have had a gun. Inward equals gun?
That's referencing what Tana said during the
Oh, okay. I got you. She was wearing a fucking bra, nothing else. Bitch, I've seen your fucking stink hole. Are you kidding me? There's literally, if I had scrolled any further on her Twitter timeline earlier, you could see the outline of her anal lips and crack. Every single fucking tendril of the starfish is on display. Oh my gosh, a lady was wearing a bra at her event? No, this is nuts. All right, anyway. So that's damning. I mean, this is proving all my theories correct. That's actually crazy. The fact that she's there too, which means how many other things that you love from this dork was she not just physically there? She's just off screen. She might be the one holding the camera. I guess she is, right? Who was holding the fucking camera? Who else would it be? So she's holding the camera. These are her ideas. You have been, this is crazy. This is fucking crazy. You've been a fan of Anissa Jomha this whole time.
I got excited, very excited to see all of this.
The whole time. The only difference is now she's like, you know what? I think I can finally do like the stuff I want to do. I just have to put on my IDUBBBZ mask to do it. And that's what this is. I'm going to watch this. Look.
Get that this is what they do. They have reminders every month of what they are and what they can do with their body. They don't need that to be their title.
This is not a man's thought. It's just straight up not.
It's like you and I don't need Buster Extraordinaire as our titles.
Women find fulfillment in.
And by the way, I do need Buster Extraordinaire as my title.
I would like that, yeah.
That would be awesome.
Being married and having children. I can testify to this in my own life. My wife, of course, famously a doctor, went to UCLA Medical School, brilliant woman. Also, the place where she easily finds the most fulfillment, and she'll tell you this, bar none, without a doubt, being
is the circumcision ward.
A mom, being a wife. Those are the places where she finds the most fulfillment.
That's awesome. I would love for a lot of women to have the choice that your wife had and be able to postpone their pregnancy until a later date when they finish college.
But she's a mother. She didn't have to do it. He just said she's all of them things. What did she postpone their pregnancy? That's not. I got bad news for you, Mr. Jomha. That ain't postponement. Okay, the baby's not still in there waiting for you after the abortion. Maybe he's a Christian man. He thinks that the spirit is still floating there somewhere, waiting for the next body to fill. He does think of women as being a birth vessel, so
maybe have a stable job and maybe aren't with like an abusive partner.
Don't fuck. And aren't with an abusive partner. I promise you, IDUBBBZ, if they're with an abusive partner, they're not becoming a doctor.
You know, that would be ideal.
My wife's a doctor.
My wife.
She currently is not practicing because she's still taking care of the new baby and our 3 other children. And I will venture to say that she works harder taking care of our kids and doing work in the community than she did as a doctor sometimes.
By the way, when he says the community, he of course means the cabal.
Because it turns out that career women, like, for example, my wife, a doctor, the thing she's most
okay, fucking Ben Borat over here.
Proud of is being a mom. I mean, like, this is very obvious stuff.
Ben Shapiro will constantly use his wife as an example of what is fulfilling to a woman, specifically a mother and a wife.
Yeah, but you would be using your wife as an example if she weren't writing the script for this. What's she gonna do? Say me? That would kind of give away the fucking business.
But he does this after his wife has graduated, worked as a doctor.
Oh, okay. You don't have to show her. Yikes.
And now has kids. And I think the reason that your wife finds fulfillment out of being a mother is because she has something to compare it to, which is a career. And you can't.
She's married to a rich guy? I mean, you understand it ain't going to be the same way for your imaginary abortion ladies, right? Like, the reason she's taking off from doctoring to watch the children and it's not Ben doing it is he makes a bajillion more dollars than she does.
Play this game where you're like, my wife ended up finding more fulfillment. Therefore, women are going to find more fulfillment out of being a mother. Let them decide that on their own. Now, Ben and his cohorts obviously.
No, I mean, do I have to say it takes 2 to tango? I mean, what are you talking about? Again, this is how you know a guy can't say these things. These are not male thoughts. It's not, and you know, it's presented, by the way, as if he's just saying this stuff off the top. He's not. He's not. There's a teleprompter. I just happened to catch him looking at it right here.
I think that men and women have particular roles when it comes to.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
What?
I saw his eyes moving back and forth.
Yeah, of course. He's checking the script. Now, he's doing it loose. They've got bullet points because obviously, when I say Anissa wrote the script, she's not talented or smart enough to actually write a script. But she wrote ideas and then talked his fucking ear off about them to the point where he can remember what he's supposed to say.
Mothers are there to nurture, males are there to protect. I'm talking about traditional roles, like wife or mother for a woman, or father and protector for a man. The great joy.
And I know what you're thinking. Well, Jesse, they're using TF2 now. So there's no way a girl figured out this video. They also pay an editor to do this. Wasn't even their idea. This is a third party idea. All the video game music and shit coming in here. This is all. It's a fucking miasma of nothing. There's a primordial ooze going on here where Ben Shapiro's random comments are just falling out of it. They probably didn't even have a lot of these clips in mind ahead of time. The editor had to go back in and figure all this stuff out. And speaking of primordial ooze, you know, this primordial, there's a primordial thing going on inside a woman's, the BPD woman, when she's in the bang cycle, and now she's puppeteering her fucking much more famous husband doing this, and she's trying to put out these ideas, and she's trying to use this face to normalize it in a group of people who might not otherwise believe things like this or ever even consider them. That's a primordial thing. That's the natural instinct of a woman. Is this, subversive trickery to the point where when I've been mentioning the cabal this entire time, and I know I just included Ben Shapiro in it, but forget that. When I've been mentioning the cabal this entire time, the cabal I'm speaking about is women. This is the unspoken truth of Earth, okay? Every single time someone posts their meme of a happy merchant with the fishing line, dangling whatever in front of the goyim, and then behind the fucking happy merchant, there's a lizard man doing it. Behind him is, the Illuminati guy, and behind them is some sort of space king or something. Behind all of them, it's a woman. It's just some lady, just some fat bitch sitting there with her fishing line. She doesn't even know how it works. Okay, it's all tangled up around her, but she's still somehow pulling all the strings.
Of life, in being a wife and being a mom, the great joy in life of being a father and a husband and a protector and a provider.
The women will create more life, something men cannot do, and the men will protect them.
And especially as the head of the household, the male.
You're the head of everything, Charlie Kirk, okay? I mean,
you must constantly be looking at the threats, right? You must constantly be looking at the attack vectors.
Attack vectors? Are you a fucking fighter pilot? What are you protecting your kids from? Just come out and say it. You're protecting your kids from drag shows. We're in the...
Okay.
IDUBBBZ Center.
Yeah, kinda. Now, why would IDUBBBZ be against that? It's the Goon to Troon pipeline, ladies and gentlemen.
21st century, you need to wipe your kids' ass. You need to teach them good values.
This is not the order, by the way.
And you need to play ball with them.
Like, when I think of my kids, my first thought isn't wiping their asses. Like, there's at least a couple of steps in between. My first thought isn't what's going on between the cheeks.
Like, what is this protector shit? You ain't protecting anything.
There are three...
Well, no, not from you, but we've seen you box.
Three types of people in this world. There are predators, there are infants,
and there's Mr. Jomha.
The protectors of infants. You fall into one of those three categories.
Oh, shit. I didn't know those were the rules that we were playing this game with. Damn it.
Who do you think would win, by the way?
Okay, I'm not an infant.
I'm not so sure.
I don't think I've ever protected an infant.
Okay, you're... Fuck! You're doing the list! Your wife is doing the list! You chose this? When I hit play... If another red line doesn't show up, number one, I don't know where he's going at this point. Does he just poof out of existence? But number two, if another red line doesn't show up, I'm going to be real upset here.
Oh, no. No. Boy, back up. I don't like these rules.
He couldn't even, not even for the fucking bit could he put that red line on there.
I'm not an infant. I'm not a protector.
Again, it's the tattoos. They're warnings. This is nature's way of warning. It's the symbolism.
Infant. Okay, how about this? There's three.
Oh, apparently the first sign of Jomha influence. Deacon, you posted this thing. I'm not going to play it, but you posted this.
No, I don't play it.
You posted this Kickstarter crap. They began dating in October of 2016.
Yes, and this is the first video he posted after that time. So, I mean, everyone thinks they know IDUBBBZ from Content Cop, but what really made him famous back then was Kickstarter crap and the unboxing videos.
Right.
So, the Kickstarter crap was usually, just bad shit on Kickstarter, stuff that anyone would.
Which wasn't that a Sam Hyde fucking bit too?
Yeah, because nothing's original. And that's, there's a whole history with him and Sam Hyde that we don't need to get into. But
is that why they had to? I don't even know what led to them having their thing.
Sam Hyde took down an IDUBBBZ video with a copyright strike, and IDUBBBZ was not happy about that, and he asked Sam Hyde to lift the strike, and Sam Hyde said he'd lift the strike if IDUBBBZ would do a weight squat
Hang
with
on a second.
certain amount of
Why
weight
did
below
he
parallel.
do that? Why did he take down the cop? Why would
I
he
think
copyright strike?
I honestly I don't know. I'm pretty sure IDUBBBZ was using a lot of his footage in something. So
Wah. It's YouTube. I mean, okay.
yeah,
That's kind of gay. I don't know.
anyway, this particular Kickstarter crap is probably not very good. I don't know. I haven't watched it in years. But I don't know. I'm a man. You're a man. Would you ever look on Kickstarter if you're looking for shitty things to review and look for jewelry?
Yeah, it'd be my number one stop, actually. I'm you guys don't realize this, but when I log off, get off the show here, say goodbye to the henchmen, power down the machines in the moon base, I slowly put on ring after ring after. I can't even bend my fingers by the time I'm done. My neck looks like fucking Mr. T. As I walk her, I mince about. I head on back down to earth and I just mince about my community, find a public bathroom to tap my toes in, see what everything's about. Yeah, I like jewelry. Why do you ask? Oh, that's what he did on this Kickstarter crap? Yeah.
Yeah, you see there a man with like a bedazzled beard in the thumbnail.
Yeah, isn't that interesting that he starts dating a lady and his next Kickstarter crap is about jewelry? Fascinating.
Three types of people in this world: pedophiles, protectors of pedophiles,
and Mr. Jomha,
and people named IDUBBBZ.
Wow.
I didn't watch this part before.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I really hate this idea of getting so laser focused on these particular roles. That's the beauty in being a human being. We can both do these roles. Like, what the fuck is a single mother, if not a provider, if not a protector, if not a nurturer? She does all of the things that the man does. So why are we giving this title to
waking
men?
up.
Men and women are protectors, they're nurturers. They do all the things. By the way, the reason I'm saying this is just to suggest what they're saying is horseshit. If you have found in your personal life that your husband going off to work is a better setup and it's just a lot easier for you, or your wife staying at home taking care of the kids is better, that's
you mean your birth vessel?
Awesome. More power to you. That's great. But
and by the way, in the reverse of that, you're Mr. Bust. What was it before? Buster Extremo or something?
we shouldn't pretend that our lives are other people's lives.
Ultimate bust.
When left-wing women were protesting their rights being infringed, Ben Shapiro and...
What rights? Wait, hang on a second. You're telling me women got different and more rights than us before? So they were walking around with extra rights. That seems kind of unfair to me.
And Matt Gaetz both decided it was a good idea to mock them.
I got the... You know what? Actually, I've got the right to jack off outside. I got a bust. I'm Mr. Bust. I'm not doing it at you. Obviously, I couldn't look at a lady or do it at her, fire the load or anything. Cannonball. I can't do any of that. I'm saying that men, you know, in the same way that a woman just has to get cock, she's got to be able to do it and got to be able to do it on her terms, Herney. I need to be able to every once in a while, you know, and this is actually biologically true for a guy. You get backed up enough, you're going to have to do, like, there's an imperative going on. There's a biological necessity, bare necessities are going on. I should be allowed to, if I need to, in case of emergency, break glass on the subway and beat off directly onto the floor.
Ugly or unfuckable.
So apparently there are a bunch of left-wing women who are now declaring a sex strike. I mean,
are these drawn on? This doesn't look real.
I know, right?
Does he always look like this? Is this a
I
joke?
guess so.
Have they added these in post or something? What the hell?
I hate to break it to you ladies, but you might not have had a choice in the matter, depending on exactly who you are anyway.
The women with the least likelihood of getting pregnant are the ones most worried about having abortions.
Where are you from? What is this accent?
Nobody wants to impregnate you if you look like a thumb.
I feel like this...
Tell that to my fucking pinky.
This is important to highlight because I feel like it's very telling that there isn't much ammo left in the chamber when it comes to women's reproductive rights. When Ben Shapiro is resorting to mocking women and saying that they're ugly,
That's
well,
not the
I mean,
chamber,
let's be real, he didn't say they're ugly.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I was like, am I wrong? That's not the chamber. Fuck, man. See, maybe Anissa did fucking edit this.
In the chamber when it comes to women's reproductive rights. When Ben Shapiro is resorting to mocking women and saying that they're ugly, well, I mean, let's be real, he didn't say they're ugly. He just implied that they were ugly. He was basically calling them ugly in lawyer speak.
You might not have had a choice in the matter, depending on exactly who you are anyway.
Something I've noticed with a lot of these right-wing men is I think they're watching that pickup artist guy from
Mystery. I learned everything I know from this man. Mystery. That's where I got when I bought my first big fuzzy hat with goggles on it. A lot of people said, Jesse, who do you think you are? The main guy from Digimon? And I went, oh, no, my friend. Allow me to introduce you to the art of picking up women. And it truly is an art. It takes an artist to pick up a woman. It's really, when you see this guy paint his canvas by busting.
What was he from? Like MTV or something? The guy with the big fuzzy hat?
Are you ready to know the 5 attraction switches that exist in every woman ubiquitously?
Because they're taking this
That was funny.
approach
Ben Shapiro watching Mystery. Yeah.
of like telling women what they want and telling women what they need and what would make them happy and what makes them unhappy.
Having 3 kids is a really big deal and will make you happier. And a lot of women want to be stay-at-home moms.
Most women want to make babies. Most women want to have babies.
Hang on a second. Not the woman writing this script, so you're wrong.
Most women are happier at home. They are
Shout out.
pretending that they like
Friend of the show, Gavin McKinney.
working.
You're talking to the women. They know. The women are going to tell you what makes you happy and what makes you fulfilled. Why are you
Are you kidding? It's all fucking women ever do.
doing it to them?
Like a perfect example is like the pickup artists. What they say is that really with women, it's the same bag of tricks. You know, they're not fully
By the way, I think of myself as the Picasso of pickup artists in that I rearrange women's faces.
rational. I don't believe that like men, they possess a sort of full rationality.
Our attraction.
Oh my God. That's, you're not making Nick look like the evil guy in this one with that music. When the lady's got a fucking widow's peak like that, it looks like she's about to turn into a bat.
Wearing red too.
And this is, by the way, from the YouTube channel that Alex Stein stole.
I believe that like men, they possess a sort of full rationality.
Isn't it crazy? There's nothing we can watch that, doesn't all come back to Podawful. It's nuts.
Our attraction circuit looks at a woman's replication value.
This dude, I used to watch this, not seriously, but I used to watch this shit on VH1. It was the funniest thing. Him with those goggles was the funniest thing ever. And I remember one time, I don't know if it was on his show or maybe they interviewed him. They did some news segment or something with him where they made him go out and show. I can't remember what it was. I saw him one time. He goes out and some woman, the first thing they say to him is, "What's with the fucking goggles?" And she's like drunk as shit. And he doesn't have an answer. And it's like, you're not prepared for that one. That's like number one. If you're going to put goggles on your hat, you better have a good explanation.
More than her survival.
Rufio's watch this guy?
Rufio is watched. Oh, Mystery? Are you kidding me? Rufio and Mystery used to be pals.
And it is all because of one device that is hooked up to her brain that she has hardwired into her chassis that we do not possess. A
pussy.
Uterus.
Okay, yeah.
This uterus is going to change her behavior.
All right, I'm skipping this.
Most women want to have money. You know what it is?
It's so fucking obvious that this is what women want. You shouldn't have to be chirping like you are.
They're whores.
It should just be automatic. You should have some faith that these women aren't children and that even if they're led astray and they get
I do not have that level of faith.
A career as a lawyer, after doing that for a few years, 10 years, they'll be like, okay, I'm ready for something different. The fact that they continue to spew this rhetoric is so fucking insane to me because so many of these men are married to career women. Women who got a job as a doctor. Women who went through college.
Oh, God.
And ended up having a career and did their career for a while and then had children.
We should say focus on family
there?
Nope.
formation in your early 20s, then go to college in your late 30s.
And then in their early 30s, they get really up.
Charlie Kirk, when he's smiling, looks like a victim of Hellraiser. You know, what are the Cenobites? It's like the Cenobites threw out their hooked chains at his face and pulled it back in order to make him smile.
Upset because they say, you know, the boys don't want to date me anymore because they're not at their prime. And people get mad when I say that. Well, it's just true. If you're in your early 30s, I'm sorry. It's like you're not as attractive in the dating pool as you were in the early 20s.
Thank you. And by the way, let's talk about that for a second. Let's be real about this for a second. Women are fucking past their prime at 15.
Yeah. Taking the COG take.
COG kind of had it right, if you think about it. I mean, listen, you're either great-great-grandmother or great-great-great-grandmother probably had your next in line kin at the age of 12. All right. So I don't know. When do women start having periods? Just biologically, if we want to get biological. So this is getting Fuentesian.
But again, you have your corporate job and cats, so I thought you know.
I'm pretty unsympathetic to the fact that Charlie Kirk thinks his wife is hotter in her 20s than she is now.
What?
I mean,
what I take issue with is the fact that he's telling so many young people that they should get married and have kids. And
listen, I don't know if you've taken a look at Anissa lately, but Mr. Jomha, she's not exactly an appreciating asset.
Their 20s and postpone their careers till their 30s and 40s. But that is
how about don't have a career? How about you don't need to have a career? How about the fucking leech that you married took your career and made it her career? What happened? Where is Miss Jomha's career? Is it showing her hidey hole? Is that her career? Oh boy, she dreamed of that since she was a little girl. One day, I'll grow up to be president or a whore.
Jesse, you know those women streamers who like the stream is just look at my tits?
No.
You know the titty streamers. They just the camera's aimed at the cleavage.
No, I've
well,
never
that's
heard of
that's
it.
what she used to do before they met.
No, I'm not familiar with any of that. Sorry, man. I thought you said you were a good Christian boy, Deacon. Oh my God.
That doesn't mean I don't know about the wider world and the horrible things in it.
Gee, Menez, man, you shouldn't be looking at anything. Where can I find this, by the way? You said Twitch?
I think so.
I
think if you go to Twitch and look up hot tub, you'll get what you're looking for.
Good Lord. Remember when they were doing that thing for a bit where, I mean, talking about a titty streamer, they were doing that thing. I don't know if Anissa did this. They did that thing for a bit where the woman was naked. She was just topless.
Oh, yeah.
But you could only see her from the nipple, from like just above the nipple up. And then, it was like, pay me $200 to raise my arms. It's like, you're not going to show it. Obviously, we're not going to see what's going on down there. And this was like, I don't need to see her titas. Okay, you don't have to send me this. Listen. Okay, so this thing started spreading around where they were all doing the straight up titty streaming, like literally tits out streaming. This got banned within like a couple days, but this was tearing across social media. But you know what always threw me about it was the first lady who did it and the one that everybody shared looked like a fucking guy. Do you remember this? It was like a big muscle man lady.
Wait, really?
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't remember that Mexican chick with the huge tits. That's the only one I remember.
That's the one that we used to troll. That's why you remember that. But yeah, there's
we see in her nudes. Oh God.
Strawberry. Oh my God. Strawberry Tabby. If you want to look into titty streamers, she's got some floppers, man. You take one of those things, you got an 80s desk toy for just the right businessman in your life. She's got horrific gigantos growing off of her, and then we found her full-on leaked hidey holes. She's got one of the hairiest.
Yes.
I mean, golly. This thing is, and I'm not talking front. This is not the curtains matching drapes scenario. This is the fucking, backyard mudroom welcome mat. Okay.
And they tried to edit it out too, and they couldn't. I don't think they could have. There was so much.
Yeah, she tried to smear it with technological goo to make the hair go away, but it's there, baby. You can't hide. There's no filter on earth that would filter out the stubble she had growing between her cheeks. But we only know this woman because by the way, Jesus, I'm not sure. We only knew her because we found her when nobody was watching her. Like there's 18 people watching her, and we started trolling her. And then like 2 months later, she was one of the biggest streamers ever. And it's all because of them floppers. But yeah, there was this, I don't know what it was. It's like it's either a trans, a handsome lady, or it's
Millhip's ex.
Or yes, I think it's a muscle woman, but it was like the most unappealing thing. So they kept showing this and being like, I can't believe this is so sexual. And I'm sitting there going, I think this looks like, a doctor showing a new type of disease off, like trying to figure out some sort of syndrome going on. Her shoulders, Mersh has he's the inverse of this woman's shoulders. You know what I'm saying? Like she had one of the most shouldery chests I've ever seen.
Not what he did, and that's not what many of his colleagues.
Okay, and by the way, you can't do the whole thing about they say they're ugly and then keep showing Charlie Kirk. That's mean. Charlie Kirk, you can't show this face. You're saying he's ugly just by showing him.
If that's not what you did, you need to pair your rhetoric with I fucked up. He should be telling all these women.
Oh yeah, inward guy. And this is the thing. This is what you all need to do from now on. Wow, Deacon coming with a lot of fucking shit here. He's got the IDUBBBZ next to Chris Ray Gun with the same haircut pics. I don't need to see any of this. Listen, here's what I want. Here's what I beg of you from now on. Listen, they're going to, Anissa's curating the comments. They didn't do it for 2 weeks. For 2 weeks, this thing had bad comments all the way to the top. And now I check it for this episode. And would you look at that? They're all gone. It's all nice stuff. Where'd all these nice ones come from? Now, and by the way, it's got now out of nowhere, over 300,000 more views after 2 weeks. Are you kidding me? That happens. That doesn't happen. So, a lot of these comments are curated, maybe even faked. Forget about it. But here's what needs to happen. Let's say IDUBBBZ releases another video. He needs to start being called, and this is very important, the N-word guy.
I'm a killer gorilla.
That's not related. I want every single comment to start. I want everybody talking about IDUBBBZ. I want Kino Casino. I want whoever talks about this guy and makes fun of him. Anybody out there, I want everyone to copy this, okay? Steal this. Steal this meme. You're the N-word guy. You're permanently the N-word guy. The more you try to escape the velocity of being the N-word guy, you are further inwarding yourself. As you try to turn outward, you will turn more N-word. Every comment cascading. N-word guy, N-word guy, N-word guy. Sorry, N-word guy, you've fallen off. Hey, whatever happened to saying the N-word? N-word guy. Oh, women have rights? I don't think so, N-word guy. Whatever.
N-word guy's afraid to say the N-word.
N-word guy's afraid to say the N-word. I believe. Now, listen, I would love for people to start calling them IDUBBBZ as well. I'm really enjoying that one. But there's no more important thing on this earth right now that you could do. If you hate this dub, if you hate Mr. Dub, you need to start. Mr. Jomha's great. IDUBBBZ is great. It's all good. But there's nothing better you could do than start permanently referring to him as the N-word guy. And then, and the most beautiful, I didn't even plan for this. The most beautiful part of what the fuck is going on? I just saw myself in the camera. Look at my shoulders. I look like that lady with her titties out. It's a lot of shoulder go. I look like Uncle Fester right now.
You look like one of those creatures from Feds' TikTok.
What was I saying? Oh, now the beautiful part about the N-word guy thing is that was Mrs. Jomha's idea. Mrs. Jomha's the N-word guy too. They're both the N-word guy. Remind him of that. Hey, what's up, the N-word guy? Nice new video and everything. Just, hey, make sure you thank Master Jomha for the N-word idea. You're the N-word guy. It's her fault. You're forever the N-word guy. Shout out to Anissa. Thanks for making you the N-word guy. Hey, N-word guy, we love you. Maybe be nice to him about it. Hey, N-word guy, we love you. Thank you so much for bringing us the N-word. I'd actually never even heard of the N-word before. That was the first time I'd ever heard of the N-word. When you said it in that moment, you know, I was 13 years old. And I grew up in a society where we treated black people with respect. And we did not use slurs. We weren't racially colorblind. No, it was just the opposite. I grew up in critical race theory, and all my teachers had taught me how I'm bad for being white, and I had never even heard the N-word. And so when I watched your video and you said it with that big jack-o'-lantern smile on your face, I said, huh? I sat up in my chair and I was like, what did he just say? And I rewound it 2, 3, 4, 100 times. I played it over and over and over again because I didn't even understand the words you were saying. It was like the first time I heard someone say anti-disestablishmentarianism. This is brand new for me. And I learned the N-word from watching you, the N-word guy. Shout out to Anissa. Thanks, Anissa. And I've been saying it ever since. Wow, what a gift you've given humanity. By the way, whatever happened to Mongu? Is she alive? Did she die from the N-word? She was white, right? So that shouldn't have really hurt her too bad. I'm not sure you should evaporate from the universe just because a guy says a brand new term to you.
On this podcast, I fucked up. Me and all my conservative colleagues who spent our early 20s grinding, we shouldn't have done that.
All this talk about how you're going to be fulfilled having a career as a high-powered lawyer at 50 with no kids is nonsense.
A lot of them take on jobs.
Was that AI? Like, you didn't show him on screen. I've heard enough Ben Shapiro AIs to question whatever just happened there.
Jobs that, you know, they know is not going to result in some budding career. Like it's.
Whoa, hey, wait a second. Who let? Well, I'm not going to say it, but IDUBBBZ, do you want to throw it out there?
It's usually in fashion or textiles or something like that.
That if they put their entire life's meaning into their credential, into where they went to school, into what kind of job they have, if you put all of your life's meaning into that, you're going to be a sad, lonely, pathetic person. And you're going to know it internally, so you're going to project it onto
people. Who is this guy? Anybody know? They haven't shown this guy before.
People who have actually built something more meaningful with their lives.
It is crazy.
That's JD Vance, the vice president.
Of what? The vice president of what? Israel or something?
No, of America as of today.
Okay, never heard of him. Cool.
Strays that are coming out of these people's mouths. All of their rhetoric can apply to Candace Owens, Megyn Kelly, Laura Ingraham, all of these like right-wing women who decided to focus in their 20s on grinding. Like many men.
And Grindr.
Men are able to do. They decided to forego having kids and wait until they were in their 30s, or I think in some cases their 40s, to have kids. You're not going to hear Ben Shapiro lampooning Candace Owens for waiting until she was 30 to have kids.
You might now. They had a pretty big blow up, actually.
There's a clip of this young conservative woman who's trying to like reach Charlie Kirk and basically say like, what about like women having careers? And he just like completely like shuts her down.
Nice. Absolutely destroyed with facts and logic.
Any women,
Take this, college-age idiot.
majority, like 90+% deep down, have this urge to reproduce and to raise children, and we are telling them to forsake that and go become a CEO of a shoe company.
A better way to propose feminism in the public media would be not to eliminate having children and tell women that they shouldn't have children, but to figure out your career first before you decide to like settle down, because you can't really undo that once.
Yeah, you don't get the. Here's the thing: nobody ever figures out their career. It's a magical, mystical make 'em up. A career isn't real. Your career is what it is at the end. Your career is all of the things that happen till whatever point you're at. That's been your career. What you're saying is figure out what job you want. And the likelihood that you, a fucking college kid, will get the job you want is zero. It's effectively zero. Good job. You wasted mom and dad's money and the government's. Awesome. Awesome. Can't wait. I can't wait until you use your degree to fucking wipe your pussy with and clean out your abortion with it. That'll rule. This will be awesome. And then while you're sitting there at 29, cutting your hair into bangs for the 50th time that year, you'll be figuring out what your career is in no time. Guess I want to be a tattoo artist. I don't know how to draw. Doesn't matter. Your clients are Mr. and Mrs. Jomha. Sorry, I meant to say Mrs. and Mr. Jomha. You're fucking wasting your time, your life, my money. Careers aren't real. You think I was 18 and I went, one day I think I will have a big moon base where I scream at retards. People will give me money for it. That's my career. If you go over the long storied history of Podawful, that's what my career has been. 15 years of this stupid crap. Wasting my time and yours. So that's what you pay for with entertainment, though. You want your time wasted. I hope you felt your time wasted properly tonight. And every day, every single day, I'll waste your time with stupid, retard, gooble gobble. Yum! Eat it up. Eat up your slurp slime. Open up your mouth and let me spit in it.
I think you got your point across.
Does that get it across?
Greg moment.
There's no such thing as a career. And even more so, there's no such thing as a female career. You know what? You could, a woman is actually the only person on earth who could choose in her teenage years what her career would be and be right. And be even kind of close. And it would be by going, I'm going to be a mommy. I'm going to be a stay-at-home wife and a mommy. And then you'd be right as long as you do that. Actually, still a lot of women would fail because they're so fucking shitty at even that. What is it? Who knew their career? I mean, I guess if your dad already owns the business and you're like, I'm going to be my dad when I grow up. and you just take it over, then sure, fine. In that respect, you could do it. What woman is doing that? What man would allow his daughter, to take over his, what? You want to just shit on her? Hey, how about I throw my own legacy away instead of allowing you to mismanage your company until I'm in financial ruin and embarrassed? Eat up, retards.
Do you have
Yeah,
kids?
so I think it's the exact opposite. I think you should have kids first, then do your career. Because which one has a timetable on it?
True, but like once you have kids, you're committed to that, and you can't really have as much of a career. So you should kind of define your I guess what I'm trying to.
Kids are way more important than being, a data scientist at Dropbox.
But
this clip.
I don't know. I use Dropbox a lot more than I use my fucking kids. Now I'm not IDUBBBZ where you remember the things he was crossing off, so maybe it would be more important. The kids would probably be more important than IDUBBBZ. The first thought in IDUBBBZ's head when he thinks of kids is wiping their assholes. So, who knows? Hey, listen, everybody's different. Okay, so can I end it there? Is that it? I can just say everybody's different. I need you out there. I need you telling this man right here. Thanks, the N-word guy. Hey, I'd be willing to give him my other my Twitter handle, @the N-word. You want it? The N-word guy? Thanks, Anissa, for creating @the N-word guy. I've always been, if you're one of these guys out there who thinks IDUBBBZ changed, just remember, you've always been a big Anissa Jomha fan. You just preferred her early stuff. You're an Anissa Jomha hipster. That's what's actually going on. You liked her early work. Things kind of changed later on, and it's not as good now. All right, that's the program. Podawful.pizza. Join it. Get access to our premium membership. Should I do an after show? We could keep watching.
You want
this.
to?
I don't want to. No.
Oh,
but I could I could keep watching this, have fun with it, be a good after show. Are people into this? The pizza funders out there, people who are already in there, or if you're willing to sign up, do you want me to keep covering this shit? I feel like it's over, right? That's why I'm ending the show right now. Does this suck? Nobody knows how to end a YouTube video. Not once in the history of ever. Not once has anybody properly ended a YouTube video, and I'm doing it right now. Okay? You're not supposed to go, it's over, and then just keep going. Every YouTube video does it. What is it? What is it about YouTube? You can't just fucking let it go. IDUBBBZ! Okay, I'm blowing out this fucking microphone. I gotta stop. Loud equals funny. Yes, after show. Yes, yeah. I'm seeing yes, but I think it's like the same guy saying it over and over again. No, it's different people. After show. All right, give me like 6.5 minutes, and we'll go to a pod after show. Podawful.pizza. We'll keep covering this video, and we'll see you next time. That's the show. Bye. Bye, everybody. Until next time, have an awful day.
Bye.
Bye.
Podawful.pizza.
Choo choo, all